Hello, Costa here. Gardening is great for the whole family, and I want to tell you something that will get the kids in your life growing. It's my brand new podcast, Gardening Buds. Everything a kid needs to know to make their own garden grow. Whether you've got a big backyard, a balcony, or a little pot on a windowsill. Join Kaylee and I for Gardening Buds. Out now on the ABC Kids Listen and ABC Listen apps.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2022 AFL Premiership season. We're gonna be kids. Grandstand AFL.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
The AFL's youngest clubs converge on Giants Stadium in what is pleasingly a sunny Saturday afternoon in the Harbour City. It's GWS up against the Gold Coast Suns, with Leon Cameron having brought the changes to his selection table after a winless opening fortnight. Braden Pruce making his club debut for the Giants. The former Melbourne and North Melbourne big man Lockie Keefe and Nat DeBoer also return, as do local products James Peatling and Jake Steen. Out goes Phil Davis with a hamstring, Daniel Lloyd with an arm injury, while Riccardi, Brander and Matt Flynn have all been omitted. So changes have been made, no late changes, and their sub is Adam Kennedy. While for the Gold Coast Suns, who went down by 13 points to the Demons last week at Carrara, Lockie Weller is an important inclusion for them. Back from health and safety protocols, Sam Flanders is the one to make way. Today's medical sub for the Gold Coast Suns is Josh Corbett. Our team on Grandstand AFL is pretty solid as ever. My name is Brett Sprigg, and Daniel Garb will call the action alongside me. Garby.
Hello, Spriggy. A beautiful Saturday afternoon in Sydney, which is much welcomed after the rain we've had for the last, feels like 3 months really. So we're enjoying the sunshine and looking forward to watching what I think will be a pretty exciting game today. A Giants team that needs to win. Zip into, they don't win this one, Leon Cameron's under some pressure. So a big subplot coming into it. Can't wait for it.
We've got our own ruckman on debut this afternoon. The current Sydney Swan, Callum Sinclair. Good afternoon to you.
Thanks, Briggy, mate. Looking forward to my debut today. I was a little bit nervous walking from the 30-minute walk from the car park today, but looking forward to seeing Prusy out there today.
It is one of the punishing things about Easter show time is the Giants usually have home games in Canberra during this time. They played at Stadium Australia in round one, of course, against the Swans. It is extra hard for us to get to the ground. It's about 5 kilometres away. But we are here. You mentioned Braden Pruce. He's a big inclusion for the Giants, making his club debut.
Absolutely. This guy, interesting journey. I think he started out at the Kangas, then went to the Melbourne Footy Club. Unfortunately, was behind Max Gawn there. Came to the Giants, really looking forward to cementing that number one spot. Unfortunately, came down with injury the last couple of seasons, shoulder, pec, back. So really pumped for him to get a debut against a pretty good opposition in Jared Witts.
Yeah, the Gold Coast Suns are currently 8, so a win today will help put them firmly in the 8 for a little while longer. Norm Smith medalist Ryan O'Keefe back with us as well. Welcome to you.
Yep, good to be back, and not wrong about the show. I had to coach in 2 grand finals this morning. Coached the Independent Girls Schools grand finals, St Cat's. We had 2 from 2. So,
hey, right.
So I'm coming off a bit of a high, so I might be a bit excited and that for this game. But in saying that, it's a pretty critical game. It's pretty important for both teams, I think, and definitely it's an understatement to say the Giants have to win, and especially here on their home deck. If not, there's going to be some questions asked.
So the toss has taken place in the middle of Giants Stadium. Touk Miller has won that, and they'll kick to the Olympic Stadium and to start the right of screen, or the right of your radio dial, here on Grandstand AFL. He's a very important player as well. He's been in good form, Touk Miller.
Yeah, he has, and he's carried on his form from last year, so you can see that he's really mature, taking that leadership role at the club. So yeah, he's going to be one of those prime movers in there, and he's going to have to be on his best game, because I still say that the Giants has got a pretty potent midfield, so he would have to step up.
Yeah, and I think the key on that point is that the Giants need support around him. It's up for Rao to really step up in that position, because let's be honest, the Giants midfield is very damaging, and they're going to have to be on their game today. So I'll have an eye on Touk Miller as well. He's a fan favourite of mine.
Yeah, look, I think I'm going to go the Giants here. I think they would have been wound up. I think Leon would have really gone, hey, we're going to have to start winning the ball, get the contested brand going really, really hard. It's got to start in the middle, and you can see now as their midfield goes out there, they've gone in with the big guns.
Well, I reckon they should take some inspiration from what the Doggies did to us on Thursday night. They were just hungry. They were desperate. Very similar situation. Need to build momentum going into the start of the year.
We'll check in boundary side very shortly. Emma Simpkin is down there for us. The crowd is still filing in on this Saturday afternoon. We've got the big men out there doing battle. As we mentioned, Braden Pruce out there for the Giants, of course. Jared Witts for the Gold Coast Suns, getting us underway here on Grandstand AFL. Here is Daniel Garb.
So Bruce on debut up against Witts, like this Gold Coast Suns strip, the royal blue with the white, yellow on the side, and the Giants win it out first through Tom Green, slams it on the boot inside 50, but back there is Charlie Ballard, takes the mark uncontested, and the man we've been speaking about, Tuke Miller, with the possession straight away. He goes to Lockie Weller, the Suns still inside defensive 50.
You get your tip, Cal? Who did you like?
I like the Giants. I think they're going to have to be pretty hungry today, and I think it's all them.
Weller plays on now to the wing. Marbia Chol was there. At the back is Bruce for the Giants. Green is able to get hands on the footy. Ward, Taranto, they move it backwards now to Nick Haynes.
Haynes off a step, comes up the commentary side, sets a task for Perryman, but coming across from the side and knocking it out of bounds for a throw-in. It's Noah Anderson, not far away from Emma Simpkin downstairs. What's it like down there, Emma?
Beautiful conditions down here. It's hard to believe the sun is shining. The pitch looks in good shape, although it could be a little bit greasy underfoot.
Minute gone here, no score between the Giants and the Suns on Grandstand AFL. As Canelio goes in hard, thumbs out the hand pass. Again, they converge from all angles here in the members' side. And now Tom Green's been taken high. Free kick going the way of the Giants.
Tom Green's been really busy at the moment. You can see he's come to play. He's probably up to 4 touches already. He's hungry. He wants to be that prime target from the hit twos.
Had it 34 times against Richmond last week here for the Giants. And now a free kick going downfield, or it's going to be reversed maybe, going the way of the Gold Coast Suns, and it will be with Sean Lemons inside defensive 50. In fact, we are going to come back to the wing. Sure if...
That's just the killer. As we talk about getting the pressure, the Giants had opportunity to go inside 50 and it just relieves the pressure.
Kosia sends the Suns forward.
Marbia Chol is the target again. Nick Haynes was able to spoil from the back. Swallows there. It's in the forward pocket for the Suns. Nick Holman tries to squeeze it forward outside of his left boot. It's just in front of the goal square. Trying to get hands on it is Atkins. The Giants just kick it out loosely. It's still inside 50 though for the Suns. Noah Anderson spun 360, got a handball away. They're looking for Tuke Miller. Can the Giants get it free? They get hands on it now to Sam Taylor. He chips it out wide looking for Bobby Hill. It'll bounce in front of him just outside defensive 50, left half back for GWS.
I reckon the Giants defenders have had a chat to about Marbio Chol, just keeping him on the ground there, not letting him fly for the footy.
Voice of Callum Sinclair on Grandstand AFL. ABC Radio, News Radio and ABC Sport Digital here. 2.5 minutes played, still no score. GWS and Gold Coast. In goes Lockie Ash. Hand pass back to Taranto. Curls a kick up the line straight down Sean Lemons' throat, and he takes the chest mark here for the Suns on the wing.
Lemons handballs onto Lukosius off his right. Puts the Suns deep into attack. Casbolt is down there. Drifting across though is Jake Steen. Back into the team for his first game of the season. The former decathlete. He was at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow a fair few years ago. Good to see him back out there. The spoil, and it's out for a boundary throw in inside 50 for the Suns.
20 around from the Gold Coast goal. Witts to the front. Coming through here, it's been knocked away by Ainsworth, and a free kick now going the way of the Giants, and it will go the way of Perryman. So the Giants from fullback can start again. Short kick up the pipe, and he manages to find Kelly. Kelly gets it back off. Raking kick from Perryman goes toward the outer side on that southeastern wing, setting a task out there in the deep for Peatling. It's one back here for the Gold Coast Suns. Still plenty of run from Weller coming the other way. Gives it off, gets it back, kicks straight into Perryman at half back, and the Giants can go again. Canelio gets it off here towards Peatling. Again, they go toward the flank at right half forward. It's marked by Bobby Hill. Looks at the options inside 50, leading up from the pocket. Not quite there was Hogan, and it comes off hands, and it's out for a boundary throw-in. 15 around from the Giants goal at the scoreboard end. Still no score through 4 minutes in the first term here on Grandstand AFL.
A little bit too cute there by Bobby Hill. I reckon if he went to the top of the square, Himmelberg had his opponent cooked, so just trying to be a little bit too cute.
Boundary throw in inside 50 for the Giants. Ball in dispute. Canelio slams it on the boot quickly. It's just missed though. The near side for a behind. First score of the afternoon though. 1 to the Giants. We've gone 4.5 minutes in this first quarter.
some good ball movement by the Giants. Looks like they want to have a little bit more urgency and go through the middle.
The Gold Coast Suns kick out through Powell. Long beyond defensive 50, 3-on-2 through the air. Witt's involved. Scholl does the crumbing. Tackled here by Tom Green. Gets the hand pass off. They can evade here through Davies. Davies dummies his way around 1-2. Now kicks on the half volley. Awkward pickup down there it was for Holman. Umpire does pay the mark. The Suns go inside 50 again. So quick work coast to coast from the Gold Coast, but it's coming off the chest here of Taylor and out of bounds for a throw in right on the junction of 50 at right half forward for the Gold Coast Suns. And again, through 5 minutes, we have just the one behind the Giants. The Suns are yet to score.
Just entries, I reckon. They're just not hitting it clearly, hitting the top of the goal square, need to put the team under a bit of pressure.
Cornelio in mid-air gets a handball free, just works it up to the wing. Bobby Hill does well to pick that up cleanly. Back to Cornelio at centre half back. The Giants shared around. Kelly, Hill, and now dashing out of defence is Isaac Cumming. Puts it on the boot with a bit of a banana and works it shrewdly up to Jesse Hogan at left half forward. Hogan goes towards the pocket for the Suns. Himmelberg leads his man to the footy, kept it in play. Ballard's there now. He wraps Ballard up, does Himmelberg, and he's given away a free kick because he tackled him without possession of the football. So a free kick to the Suns in the right back pocket.
You just want a forward stoppage there. Himmelberg could have just taken it out. They reset. They're always dangerous from a forward stoppage.
Oh, dicey kick here. Again, defensive 50. It's going to be working out okay, though, because Ellis was blocked. So a free kick for the Gold Coast Suns. He can spread it wide out there for Sam Collins, but will actually come all the way back to Ellis. Will take his kick. A reminder, of course, you can send us a text 0437 774 774 from wherever you're listening right across Australia or beyond. Brett Sprigg alongside Daniel Garb, Ryan O'Keefe, Callum Sinclair here on Grandstand AFL. Short kick from Ellis to Weller. Still inside defensive 50 for the Gold Coast Suns. We've given up the first point of this game so far. Half volley pick up here. Taylor for the Giants. Gives it back off to it's a ball going back inside 50 and Hogan leads up. Marks in the corridor, 45 out, directly in front.
Quite a dangerous kick there coming out of defence. I don't know who he was going to, but you just see the composure by De Boer going inside 50, finding someone in Hogan.
Jesse Hogan played his 100th game last week. It's now his 12th appearance for his third AFL club, the Giants. Opportunity here for the first goal of the game. He connects from just inside 50 scoreboard and it's away to the right-hand side. The Giants 2 behind. Suns yet to score through 7.5 minutes first quarter on Grandstand AFL.
Got to capitalise on this. It's probably been a bit of a trend over the last couple of rounds is the goal kicking and accuracy, and it's not putting scoreboard pressure on teams.
The Coasters go short to Ballard, who switches it to Collins. The left half back now, the ball with Gold Coast, and Rory Atkins chips one up the wing, but that was a low percentage play, and Connor Iden is able to punch it out. He was watching his man, Braden Ainsworth, closely. One to watch for you boys. It looks like Lockie Ash might be running with Tuke Miller.
Yeah, he is.
I'm not sure it's a role he's done too often, so that's an interesting ploy from Leon Cameron. Boundary throw in on the wing, Witts and Pruce. Rory Atkins is there, wrapped up by Tom Green. He'll have a free kick. In fact, he's caught holding the ball. Atkins didn't do enough to dispose of it. So Tom Green with the footy on the wing for the Giants on the outer side.
It's his third touch already. Tom Green loads up inside forward 50. Wants Himmelberg leaping up. Great big intercept mark taken by Ballard. He did well through the air. And they'll come up the corridor again, the Giants. Davies dummies a hand pass around Taranto. On the angled kick now towards the commentary side. Sliding in, can't quite get possession down there. Casbolt, ball in dispute. One away by Halloran for the Giants. Hand pass back here to Cal Ward, but his 250th game last week. Ward loads up inside 50 and Himmelberg at the back gets set. Couldn't quite hang on to it. Taranto gives a nudge in the pocket. Coming up to mop up here the Suns in defence. Comes back to Taranto though. Tries to find some space. Hand pass off to Hogan, who snaps from the pocket and wobbles it through.
Goes back to Ryan's point, just the importance of just getting the footy in, good contest from Himmelberg, bring the footy to ground. Nothing pretty, but it pays off.
Giants 1-2-8. The Suns yet to score through 9 minutes here in the first term on Grandstand AFL.
And it looks like Callum Ward's also playing a role off half back, which is, probably something that we've seen a bit of a trend with some of the older midfielders are starting to move down back, maybe trying to get easy kick off half back. I don't know.
What, Joey Kennedy?
Yeah, Joey
anonymous.
Kennedy.
You barely see him these days.
They go down back and try to get some cheap ones.
I'm trying to find that kick myself, but Horse doesn't want to borrow it at the moment, so might campaign for the rest of the game. No.
But the Giants, like, Hogan's such an important part to their forward line, I think, and like Himmelberg's been terrific in the early part of the season, but he's been one out, so to have Jesse Hogan come in and be a real presence and have a couple of shots on goal already, it's really important for the Giants setup.
So Braden Pruce has his first rest of the afternoon. Lockie Keefe doing the ruck work. Witts wins it straight down to Tuke Miller, but Lockie Ash right with him. Now the Giants have won it back in the middle. It's with Tom Green at centre half forward. Looks for the lead of Himmelberg. He's out on his own and he's marked it in the right forward pocket. Looks to play on. Peatling was free. Decides against that now. And he'll line up for goal pretty close to the boundary line, about 35 metres out.
Jeez. Forward never looks to pass on the inside 50 having a shot. Come on.
So Harry Himmelberg has kicked a goal in his last 12 games. That is the 5th best record of active players in the AFL at the moment.
I reckon Green's just getting off the chain a little bit here.
Harry Himmelberg goes in now and he's made it 13 straight games in a row, and he's got the Giants second of the afternoon. They are 2-2-14. The Suns yet to score. We've gone 10 and a half minutes in the first quarter.
Yeah, Himmelberg's in some really good form the start of the year. He's really stepped up. You can see now with Hogan being in there, he's able to get up on the move and use his agility and speed to get out on the lead, which suits his game better than trying to be that anchor there. But the Giants look dangerous. I said, Green, I love Tom Green. He's a sensational player and he's just getting his hands in it and winning it. So Ash is doing a great job on Tuke Miller at the moment. So I think that's how they see the importance of Miller. They've got to run with play to shut him down and shuttle their drive, but it's still freeing up Green and the others inside to be able to get the ball forward.
And I also don't think Himmelberg gets enough credit as being one of the best key forwards in the comp. Hasn't got one of the bigger names, but certainly a gun.
Matt de Boer's on Tuke Miller now, so a more recognised run with player. Tom Green wins a clearance. Hand pass to Kelly. The Giants are away again. Off half-back, Callan Ward. Hand pass off to de Boer. Floats it forward now for O'Halloran. Forward off halfway. Little dinking kick over the top. Reaching forward on the flank. Cornelio goes the fend. Still has the footy. Centres up here to spot the target. And he does find Peatling. Leading up from the pocket, he marks 40 out on an angle slightly better than 45 degrees. James Peatling, he's a Western Sydney lad. He debuted last year. He's taken the mid-season draft after being overlooked 3 times. So it's a nice story here for the Giants Academy player, and he has an opportunity as the Giants have gone forward of halfway again.
Excellent composure there from Cornelio. Really actually turned his start of the year very well, and he's probably been a little bit slower by his standards the last couple of years, but he's been super today. It's
only his 5th game overall. He's never kicked a goal in AFL footy, James Peatling. He lays into this from 48. He's hit the post, left-hand side. So, Giants 2-3-15. Gold Coast Suns yet to score. 13 gone in the opening term. ABC Sport, this is Grandstand AFL.
Heard some reliable words, that there were some tough words said in some Giants team meetings during the week. They weren't happy with their performance against the Tigers at the MCG on Sunday at all, and they are showing that they're out to prove a point early in this one, up by 15. Suns yet to score. Casbolt has it just in front of right half back for the Suns. Handballs to Ellis. It's gone over for a boundary throw-in.
And that's what good clubs do, Gard. Like, when you know you're not good enough or not up to the level you want to be. And I had the Giants in probably my top 4 at the start of the season, and they probably are disappointed in themselves. So some hard, honest words usually does the trick.
Zippin 2 looking for their first win of the season. Cornelio to de Boer, just inside 50, lines up on goal now and slots it. They've got another one. The Giants 3-3-21. The Suns yet to score. A blitz early on at Giants Stadium.
And I think Matty de Boer's running with Tuke Miller, so I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to the centre bounce and just lets him know about it now.
That's exactly what taggers do. If they get one on you, they'll let you know about it, and they'll let you know about it all day.
How often were you tagged, Ryan?
Too many times. Too many times. But I used to say, well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have a job, would you? But the Giants look sharp there. And to your point before about Steve Cornelio, he's just looking really good. It looks like he's got his mojo back and his touch. And you can see the senior players have stood up and they're putting pressure on the Suns. The Suns get up, they go to face the goal, and bang, there's a Giants player right in the grill.
All midfielders having an influence for the Giants, whereas the Suns just a little bit slow to get going.
You mentioned Cornelio last week, 2 goals and 23 disposals against the Tigers. Restart back in the middle. Pruce against Chol. Up they go. Chol with a telling touch. First pair of hands to it though. Taranto run down the tackle of Matt Rowell. And the umpire says, give it to me. We'll ball up back edge of the square. Half back for the Giants. We'll kick the first three goals and 3 behinds of the game so far. 21-point lead. Socket forward here by the Suns. Anderson goes inside forward 50. Getting back though, Iden takes the intercept mark. In the bright sunshine here at Giant Stadium. Angles a kick through the corridor here for Cumming. Cumming called to play on. And again, he kicks for distance up the outer side. In space. On the bounce for Tanner Bruin. Tries to evade here the chaser in Swallow. Gets the hand pass back, although Halloran wasn't watching. Suns win of the way off half back. It's with Holman. Comes up the line. The mark is taken just forward of halfway by Lukosius.
Lukosius into the game early. Heads it into the forward pocket. Leading his man to the football with Sammy Taylor, as he so often does. He was leading Levi Casbolt in frustration as a result of that. Casbolt clipped him across the head. So a free kick won by Sammy Taylor in the right back pocket for the Giants.
Put it on his head.
Up to the wing he goes, looking for Bruce, and he takes a strong mark. In his debut for the club, Braden Bruce. That'll get his confidence up. Sends it towards centre half forward now. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Maybe not the best choice. Sam Collins got 2 hands on it. Back there is Will Powell. Giants get around the ball now. It's on the 50, on the logo in front. In fact, right half forward for the Giants, and we'll have a ball up. Tom Green, as he usually is, at the base of that one.
That's a win for the Giants. They're outnumbered there, and they just forced a stoppage. They didn't get a rebound off half back.
Giants by 21. Kelly tackled by Raul. Ball jars free. Cornelio. Hand pass will come here towards Taranto. Turns a kick inside forward 50, but it's marked by Lemons in the left back pocket. The Suns can start again.
Lemons up to the wing. Big pack there. Again, Casbolt's the target. He can recover first here, but he's gang tackled by a couple of Giants, including his opponent, Sam Taylor, on the wing, and has taken over for a boundary throw-in. 3-3-21 GWS. Gold Coast yet to score. 16 minutes gone in the first term here at Giant Stadium.
Umpire heaves it back in. The Lux go to it. Bruce and Chol. Free kick spotted here for a high tackle. It will go the way of the Suns and maybe your Chol. So from the outer logo, they stream forward in the blue and gold jumpers. And he finds a marking target there, Fiorini. He had 25 disposals last week against the Demons. Just to get the hand pass off. In fact, he thinks better of it. Goes by foot. Up inside forward 50. Good spoil from behind that time coming on Holman. At the drop. Ward spun on the tackle as well. Gets it back out to Kelly up against the boundary line. And Fiorini into the back of O'Halloran. The umpire will chuck it back in. 55 around from the Gold Coast Suns goal. But it's the Giants who lead by 21 points here. 17-9 in the opening term.
Just on Ryan's point, just the entries there are too shallow. They need to score. Need to get in a lot deeper.
Bruce and Chol, left half forward for the Suns. Chol palms it down. Bruce with a strong tackle. He drove Jeremy Sharp into the turf and drove him back like a rugby union forward about 5 metres. So territory gain for the Giants, if you like. The big man, after taking a nice contested mark on the wing, having an impact early for GWS. Braden Bruce in for his first game for the club.
You can see that's the mindset the Giants have come. They've come to play today, and they've come to be physical, and they're not going to shirk the contest. So the Suns are going to be in for a long day unless they stand up and not get bullied around.
Ball's kicked inside 50, though, for Gold Coast. Lukosius is there. Steen with him. Lukosius wins it cleanly and finds some space. Handball inside to Ainsworth. He was under pressure, though. Wins it back, Braden Ainsworth, in the forward pocket. Steen there trying to win it back for the Giants. Now Taranto. There's a whistle on the play, though, and I think Ainsworth has given away a free kick. Connor Iden stands over him and says, I won't be having any of that. Free kick one to the Giants in the right back pocket as Lockie Ash re-enters the game. His opponent, Tuke Miller, on the bench for the Gold Coast Suns with only 3 possessions to his name.
As Iden thumps it up the outer side here for the Giants toward that 2-on-2. Chol gives a shove, and the free kick's been spotted here as well, so it will go the way of the Giants. Advantage paid, so they keep it running here. Cornelio forward of halfway. High ball inside forward 50. Keith back with the flight marks in the pocket, and he's no more than 20 out.
Doing a bit of ruck work, Keith, actually. He's usually been playing defence the last few years. He's got the shin guard on. He's running forward. That's really what you like to see from a ruckman, I reckon.
Tell me a ruckman doesn't love going forward to kick a sausage as
exactly
well.
Right.
He had a game here where he kicked, I think, 5 goals a couple of years ago in one of the early rounds. Of course, did ACL last year in round 8. Lockie Keith, one of the 5 inclusions this week for GWS. And this shouldn't be too tricky an assignment for him. On the approach from the right forward pocket for the Giants to kick the first 4. And Lockie Keith joins the party here at Giant Stadium. 4-3-27 GWS. The Gold Coast Suns are still yet to score as we are about to hit time on in the opening term here on Grandstand AFL. And by the way, if you are just joining us, our AFLW Grand Finalists have been decided. Melbourne beat Brisbane by 4 points at the MCG and Adelaide beat Freo by 14 points at Adelaide Oval. So it'll be the Crows and the Demons to contest the AFLW Premiership next week.
I tell you what, the Gold Coast has got no accountability at all, especially through the middle of the ground. Like, the Giants are just moving the ball at will. It's a great day out there. They're using their skills, and the Gold Coast Suns are not going anywhere near a Giants player. There's some real concerns there. I just can't put my finger on the Gold Coast, how they play or what their style is at the moment. It's a bit bizarre.
Tuke Miller back on the ground now. His opponent, Lockie Ash, goes straight to him at the centre bounce. It's a hard tagging roll from Ash on the Suns superstar. The bounce favours Witts, who takes it out of the air and puts it inside 50. Casbolt tries to palm it down to a teammate. Bursting through now is Fiorini. Has a shot on goal, but he shanked it. Bounces just in front of the boundary line and will have a throw in next to the behind post for the Suns in attack, who are yet to score in this one and trail by 27 points.
No, you are right, Ryan. They're extremely dominant, the Giants, at the moment. And I think the Suns might just have to lock down a little bit now.
Back in it comes. Bruce wins it down. Swallow was in close checking there with Iden, trying to fight it through Rowell. And now Weller drops the footy as well. It comes back here towards Ainsworth. A flying shot on goal. It's going deep to the goal line. It's knocked through for a minor score. So there is the Suns' first score. A few Bronx cheers around Giants Stadium. 26 points is the Giants' lead. 21 gone here in the opening term. And by the way, 0437 774 774. The great thing, Callum Sinclair, about the text line is you get feedback in real time.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So the abuse actually comes to you as you're calling the game.
Yeah, well, my self-esteem is a bit flat at the moment playing too, so just keep make sure the comments are positive.
Isaac Cumming plays on quickly and he sends the Giants to the wing. Himmelberg, did he get one high from Alex Davies? In fact, it's Nick Haynes. They look pretty similar with the long blonde hair. Haynes gets a free kick on the wing, goes inboard now. And they work it up on the wing, but that kick missed its target. It missed O'Halloran. So can the Suns make them pay? Here's Tuke Miller, gets his hands on the footy now. Darts a couple of tackles, has a bounce, puts it to half forward. Ainsworth in space, has the chance to hit up Chol in the lead and gets him. Good kick, better movement from the Suns. Chol will kick from 30 metres out, almost directly in front.
And I reckon that's the energy boost they need. Tuke Miller just breaking the lines, taking a bit of a risk. Make the Giants boys defend, because they really haven't done that for the first almost 22 minutes of this quarter.
So Mabiar Chol, Gold Coast desperately needs this. 3 goals for the season, has been deployed largely as a forward since signing on with the Suns. Can he kick their first of the afternoon? It's faded to the left-hand side and through for a behind. 2 behinds to Gold Coast. They trail by 25 points late in this first quarter. GWS 4-3-27.
He just had no momentum in that kick. It was just sort of stabbed at it and didn't follow through. It was needs a bit of work on his technique there, Joel.
Kicking out here for the Giants. Cumming finds the ball. By the way, inside 50 is only +3 the Giants' way. So it's not like the Suns haven't had opportunities. As the ball kicks toward the outer side. Players converge there at the back. Weller tries to slap it back for the Suns. Only finds Tom Green. Back to Bruce. Off a step. High ball inside forward 50. Hogan gets back there as well in the pack. Second bite. Can't finish it off. At the drop here, it's great rebound work from the Suns, and it's come away from Graham. He kicks out to the pocket to find Fiorini.
Jesse Hogan, slow to get up from that contest, on his feet now. Fiorini finds Weller. They move it to the outer side. They've got a man free. That was Sharp, but well done on that occasion by Perryman to make a contest. Sharp wins it back, though. At left half forward they go. There's a contest there. It's Casbolt and it's Taylor. Once again, Sammy Taylor watches him closely. And just outside the 50, left half forward, he punches it out for a boundary throw-in.
Springer, the difference is, though, the Giants' inside 50s are deeper and more dangerous, where the Suns are quite shallow and getting rebounded out of.
Give your big boys a chance.
By toss it back in here. Witts and Bruce get tangled up. Kick inside forward 50 comes from Sharp. Ricochets to the pocket. Ainsworth beaten to it by Whitfield. Off to Taylor. He can just thump it clear here for the Giants. Coming up the line, though, and marking is Sam Collins. At left half forward. The Suns go back inside forward 50. Deep to the pocket. Haynes floats across unmarked and takes the intercept mark at right full back. So Giants by 25.
Even though that's intercepted, it's deep and it's in the pocket. Now the Giants have to work the ball through all 18 of the Gold Coast players.
Haynes, an All-Australian and club champion, up to right half-back. Bobby Hill is there now as the ball goes off the pack. Lockie Weller does well to beat him to it, though. Rao gets around a tackle, sends it back into attack for the Suns, though. Taylor Lee's his man to the football once more. He's done that all day so far. Knocked out from Weller, though. Here is Alex Davies. Tries to work it to a teammate in Ainsworth. Off hands. Isaac Cummings there. And now a chance for Davies to snap on goal, and he's missed on the near side once more. So the Suns getting back into this game, but they can't quite find their first major of the afternoon. 3 behinds to them. GWS 4-3-27 late in this first quarter.
Yeah, the Suns would be happy with that repeat entry. So they had a deeper entry. The Giants couldn't get it out. Then they've had a couple of repeat entries and just start to build the pressure. Hopefully they can get a score out of this repeat entry phase.
Isaac Cumming doesn't quite know where to go from the kick out here. He chooses the outer side. Bobby Hill floats across and takes the mark. It wasn't pretty, but they got there. They're all streaming forward here in orange and charcoal. Up the line he goes, Bobby Hill. De Boer in space, marks it right half forward. He can wheel and go. Can he? No, he's going to come back and just settle things down here, Matt De Boer. Little kick inside 50. Cornelio kept running. It's a little too deep for him. Sits up on the bounce, though. Great work. Check side on the run. Steve Cornelio misses near side. So
he's everywhere, this guy, at the moment.
He's running well. He's moving well.
4-4-28 the Giants. The Suns are 3 behinds. 25.5 played in the opening quarter on Grandstand AFL.
Will Powell plays in quickly. To left half back he goes. A couple of Giants there, though, and Matt De Boer next to Jeremy Sharp punches it over the boundary line. So, interesting player, Matt De Boer. Doesn't quite get the midfield tag anymore. Maybe doesn't have the legs, so gets a roll on the outside. And he stayed in this Giants side, and he started pretty well so far today.
No, he has been, actually. He's actually been probably the last 12 months kind of playing that high pressure forward role, but he's a good guy to have in the team. He can do a job, and he generally does it quite well.
They've spoken about wanting to increase their pressure early in this game. He's a barometer for that quite often. Here's Witts and Bruce. Ball just outside 50 for GWS. Whitfield on his left finds a target in attack. And that man resting down there is Tom Green, having a breather after an excellent start in the midfield, and he's marked it 35 metres out directly in front.
Every time Lockie Whitfield touches it, something happens. He's just a class player, knows how to use it. Just lowered his eyes as the Suns' defence was just rolling back and sitting waiting for the long ball in, and he's just pierced one straight up the pivot.
He's a guy that when you're coming up against the Giants, that week leading into it, you're always thinking about who's going to take care of Lockie Whitfield, because, yes, he's extremely damaging with ball in hand.
Tom Green moves in now. Had a fantastic start to the season. Can he kick his first goal for the day? He does. Super start, GWS. 5-4-34. Gold Coast 3 behinds late in this first quarter. The Giants with a big break.
As approaching quarter time, Ryan, you know, the coaches from the Gold Coast Suns have got a fair bit to think about with this Giants midfield. It's probably going to be, you can't do a hard tag on all of them. So who's your priority?
It's more a whole team focus. No one wants to go near anyone really. The Gold Coast to me just look like they want to make it a shootout. They want to sort of back their attack and get the ball in like the likes of Rao and Miller. And if we can go fast and run, we're pretty dangerous. But you've got to have a defensive side of the game, and that's what they're not doing. And Giants are too good a team to just let them run wild, and that's what they're doing at the moment. So they're just got to tighten up, especially through the middle of the ground, across the board.
Ryan O'Keefe and Callum Sinclair, our experts on Grandstand AFL. Witts wins it down the middle here on the restart. Sliding in hard, Davies, wrapped up in turn here by Taranto. The umpire ball up. It's going to be a free kick, in fact. Davies was in the back of by Taranto. So Gold Coast Suns free kick from just forward of the bullseye. Again, they're just working their way forward in big numbers here, the Gold Coast Suns. Can they find their first goal of the game? Davies loads up to the hot spot now. Up in front, second grab. Not quite pulling it down there is Lukosius. They pile in from all angles, and the umpire again will ball it up 20 out from the Gold Coast Suns goal.
At least they're a chance to score now. They've got it in deep. Now got a stoppage. They can now set up.
Need to make something from this. Miller with a big tackle on Harry Perryman. Deep in attack for GWS. Taranto tries to get it free. Trying to burst free here is Matt Rao. Gets it back to Miller. Took on the left. They've missed another one. 4 behinds for Gold Coast. They trail by 30 points late in this first quarter. I think they've missed every single one to that left-hand side.
But you're right there, Carl. That's forward 50 stoppages are worth their weight in gold, because something can always happen out of it. So you just don't want ball exiting your back 50 quickly. You want it to stay in, stoppage, repeat entry.
Whitfield kicks out. The Giants, the Suns, in fact, go back inside forward 50 through Anderson. And now it's been marked at left half forward. It's with Sharp. He can play on, 60 from goal, deep again to the last line, and it's been marked. They have the target there in Casbolt. Big Levi had 2 to beat, but did well to keep his feet and impose himself on that contest. And the Gold Coast Suns with another opportunity here. He's only 5 metres out, an angle slightly to the left.
He'd have one of the best pair of hands in the game. He's always been a great mark.
Kicked 2 goals, 1 last week against Melbourne. He's on the board here. And the Suns have their first after 4 behinds. Gold Coast are 1-4-10. The GWS Giants are 5-4-34. So the home side leads by 24 points here at Giant Stadium as we're about to hit the half-hour mark.
But they hit that entry long and deep, but with method, speed on the footy, particularly when you're 24, 25 points down. You need to give guys like Levi Casbolt an opportunity to run and grab it for it. Because as you said, Ryan, his hands are incredible.
Yeah, and he's the perfect player what the Gold Coast need. Just a big guy up forward to make a contest.
Welcome, Gold Coast local radio listeners joining us from the NRL coverage here at Giant Stadium with Brett Sprigg, Daniel Garb, Ryan O'Keefe and Callum Sinclair, where it's been a slow start for the Gold Coast Suns and the Giants lead by 24 points. 5-4 plays 1-4 here.
Levi Casbolt with the first of the afternoon for Gold Coast, starting to work their way into this game late in this first quarter. They've finally got a major, but they've got a lot of work to do. Jared Witts tries to palm it down, and a couple of players jump on him straight away. So the ball hasn't quite made its way out of the centre circles. We'll have another bounce. In fact, he's been caught holding the ball. Has big Jared Witts at the bottom of that pack, and the Giants play on quickly through Canelio. Another possession for him. This one's a little bit wayward though. That's his 11th of the game, and it's out for a boundary throw in the left forward pocket for the Giants.
I am still confused about this holding the ball. I've got no idea how it seems to be depending on what zone in the ground it is where they pay it. It baffles me. I still haven't got my head around it.
Don't ask me.
Himmelberg at the front of that ruck contest with Witts. Pushes a man over in there. That was swallowed. Taranto is hounding the football, as is Bobby Hill. It's caught under his legs. Matt Rouse with him, and we'll have a ball up inside 50 for GWS, who lead by 24 points late in this first quarter. Good response by them after that disappointing performance against the Tigers at the G last week.
Sun shining here in Sydney's Olympic Park precinct as Ellis goes to clear here for the Suns from the paint of defensive 50. It's come off the chest here of Lukosius and out of bounds for a throw-in.
I think Lockie Keefe's been quite good today, playing a different role compared to his tall defender role. He's got the shin guard on. I'm loving it.
Back in it comes. Witts in the ruck against Lockie Keefe. Ball on the deck. Canelio swoops through for the Giants. Works a hand pass all the way back to Callan Ward, and now Perryman up the line. It'll work out okay. Kelly takes the chest mark from true centre wing broadcast side. Not long to go in this opening quarter of footy. The Giants in control of things here by 24 points.
Had big Jared Witts in the back of him as he took that mark, probably 110 kilos. That wouldn't tickle. Josh Kelly moves it up to half forward. Bobby Hill with a big fly. Couldn't quite get hands on it, but he certainly got airborne. We'll have a boundary throw in left half forward for the Giants.
He certainly got X-Factor Bobby Hill. I was almost jumped out of his seat then.
That was exciting. Keefe and Witts. Witts gets a hand on it. Here's Noah Anderson, tries to snap it free. Didn't fully connect with it though, and that's quarter time. GWS excellent in this first term. 5-4-34 they are. 24-point lead over Gold Coast, who are 1-4-10.
Goal kickers so far: Jesse Hogan, Matt DeBoer, Lockie Keefe, Harry Himmelberg and Tom Green all have majors for the Giants, while Levi Casbolt has the only goal so far this afternoon for the Gold Coast Suns. As Daniel Garb said there, 24 points is the home side's lead at the first change on ABC Radio, News Radio and ABC Sport Digital. This is Grandstand AFL.
Know the story with ABC News Digital. Get the latest breaking news with live notifications whenever you want, wherever you are.
We are considering going to zero emissions.
We'll go ahead as planned.
And abruptly ended the case.
It will help us all get back to normal and back to all the things that we love.
Those are the kind of things that work.
There's hope for a brighter future.
ABC News, Australia's most trusted news source. Head to news.abc.net.au or download the ABC News app.
The 2022 AFL Premiership season.
Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Taranto gives a nudge in the pocket. Coming up to mop up here, the Suns in defence. Comes back to Taranto, though. Tries to find some space. Hand pass off to Hogan, who snaps from the pocket and wobbles it through.
Now the Giants have won it back in the middle. It's with Tom Green at centre half forward. Looks for the lead of Himmelberg. He's out on his own, and he's marked it in the right forward pocket. Harry Himmelberg goes in now, and he's made it 13 straight games in a row, and he's got the Giants second of the afternoon. Cornelio to the board, just inside 50, lines up on goal now and slots it. They've got another one.
Cornelio forward of halfway. High ball inside forward 50. Keith back with the flight marks in the pocket, and he's no more than 20 out. Keith, one of the 5 inclusions this week for GWS. Him on the approach from the right forward pocket for the Giants to kick the first 4. And Lockie Keith joins the party here at Giants Stadium.
Tom Green moves in now. Had a fantastic start to the season. Can he kick his first goal for the day? He does. Superstar GWS.
Sharp. He can play on. 60 from goal. Deep again to the last line. And it's been marked. They have the target there in Casbolt. Big Levi had 2 to beat, but did well to keep his feet. He's only 5 metres out. An angle slightly to the left. Kicked 2 goals, 1 last week against Melbourne. He's on the board here. And the Suns have their first.
This is the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Quarter time at Giants Stadium, where GWS leads the Gold Coast Suns 5-4-34 to 1-4-10. Earlier in the AFLW prelims, Melbourne beat Brisbane by 4 points at the MCG, and Adelaide beat Fremantle by 14 points at Adelaide Oval. So that means that the Crows will again host the AFLW Grand Final. Next week they will face Melbourne. So those are our 2 prelim winners earlier today, and our grand finalists Adelaide and Melbourne next week in the AFLW. Coming up later on, AFL Round 3 in the men's competition, of course, Collingwood Geelong at the MCG. Most of us headed there, while if you are listening through News Radio in Queensland, you'll take Brisbane v North Melbourne with Quentin Hull and the team there at the Gabba. 24 points is the margin here. I invite your texts as well, 0437 774 774. Bill says, Giants too often good at showy skills stuff, not so much hard team stuff. Henry in Melbourne, there's a text there as well saying how important it is for Gold Coast mids to provide support by blocking the tag for Miller at stoppages. And I like this because we've got Callum Sinclair on debut here in the grandstand team. Mike from Connerton says, enjoying the call, thanks fellas. Bit of advice from an old bloke for Callum about low self-esteem, because Callum joked about being in the 2s at the moment. It can be a killer. So if you have an ordinary night, look at it for sure, but then look much harder at your past couple of excellent years. Throw the bad night in the bin where it belongs and get on with next week, says Mike. That is sage advice. Still with Brett Sprigg, Daniel Garb, and our experts are Ryan O'Keefe and Callum Sinclair.
No, I do appreciate that. It's quite nice. It's very different to the usual stuff that the boys get online, but I will take that on board. And boys had a good game last night against the Gold Coast Suns, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Giants Suns right here at Giants Stadium.
Yeah, look, it's a dominant performance so far by the Giants. As their senior players have come out. Obviously, you had a bit of an honest conversation behind closed doors for their start of the season, which hasn't been ideal, and they've come out and done something about it, which is good to see. You don't want to be a team that just talks. You've got to be able to walk the walk as well. So they've come in. Cognilio he's moving fantastic. Looks like he's some of his best football. Green as well. But to me, and I sort of made a comment during the quarter, I'm just unsure about the Suns.
I fully agree with you, but I just feel like the Giants at the moment, yes, they've been good, but they're running around doing whatever they want.
Well, you can't just back off being a good attacking team and all this young talent you got. You know, if you look in the midfield, you got Miller, Noah Anderson, and top, super talented midfield, but no point by that doing that if you're not going to do the hard stuff and the grunt work. And there was a comment on one of the texts there about the Giants are good at the flashy stuff. That's where I think they've improved their game and have brought a bit of contest, especially to this game. And that's where someone like a De Boer, that's why he's so valuable to this team, because he is a role player and he does all that hard stuff. And then the other and Green's the same. Even though he's a class player, he gets in and gets dirty. So, and we can see with Aish as well, he's doing a job. So they come to play their role, be tough this game.
A few quarter-time numbers, Daniel Garb.
Eve Cornelio, 12 possessions to quarter-time. Callan Ward with 8 off half-back. And Tuke Miller, only 6 possessions, low for him. 5 in the first quarter. Lockie Ash with the hard tag on him. He's doing very well in that regard.
Second term underway. Giants by 24. We'll go to Emma Simpkin, boundary side very shortly as we're waiting for a clearance. We won't get one. Still nice conditions down there, Emma?
Yeah, perfect conditions. Not a big crowd here at Giants Stadium, unfortunately.
No. The ones that are here are making some noise, but I dare say this is probably one of the lower drawing games you're going to have. I joked that it was the expansion derby. I don't know if we still call them expansion clubs. They've been in the comp for 10, 11 years, these two sides, but not a whole lot of away fans, put it that way, as Witts tries to just tow it away here for the Gold Coast Suns. Lukosius gathers, wrapped up here in the coming tackle, and the umpire says that's holding the ball. So the tackler rewarded. Great work, Isaac Cumming.
I sense just a little bit more physicality from the Suns, so I reckon they might have got to rev up a quarter time.
So they'll win the first clearance of the second term. They lead by 24. Cumming jinks his way around Lukosius and kicks wide to the flank, and he can find Lockie Whitfield. So Whitfield just shielded his eyes from the setting sun. He's still 65 from goal. One of the best users of the ball by foot on both sides of his body. Whitfield goes up on the right boot, this time into the pocket, and the mark is taken back there, the intercept by Ballard. So the Suns can start again from the right back pocket.
Goes to Lockie Weller, who leads possession getters for Gold Coast. He's got 8 now. Looks for Chol on the wing. Steeney's there with him. And that's a free kick against Lockie Whitfield. He tackled Sexton without the footy. So he'll have it at right half back for the Suns. Need to get back into this game. They trail by 24 points. Sexton goes up to half forward. Bruce is there, went through his hands. His opponent, Jared Witts, was waiting at the back. He can gather now, but he couldn't quite get his hands on the football, and his big frame meant that he tumbled over himself. Probably a bit of an issue for a big fella sometimes, Cal. I'm sure you've been in a position like that on a couple of occasions.
Take it easy there, mate. Witsy's coming back from an ACL from last year. He's missed a fair bit of footy, so I'll protect the big fella.
Back it comes. Bruce wins it down to Taranto. The Giants can clear. It's a high ball in the air. Whitfield marks on half back. Floats a hand pass forward. They'll rebound away here. It goes high from a bit of Peatling. Inside forward 50, and Himmelberg's given away the shove. And that will be a free kick going the Suns' way. And it's with Powell. He can exit defensive 50 with the kick. It was a well-weighted pass by foot to Sexton.
Sexton plays on quickly inside the centre of Giant Stadium. Now sends them into attack. Sammy Taylor does so well to work to the front. Very good start to this game by him. He's got the better of Casbolt so far, who does have 1 goal, but Sammy Taylor's beaten him to a few contests. Did that again right then and there. Goes short to Lockie Whitfield. Whitfield looking for his 7th disposal of the afternoon. Perhaps not as prolific as he usually is to start the season. Plays on and goes to Bruce and finds him. Accurate on that occasion. Bruce marks in a contested fashion on the wing. Goes short now to Harry Himmelberg. Just a little bit wider in front of the interchange gates. There's a lead from Isaac Cumming. Ignores that. Now he plays on. Puts it up in the air. Bruce has made his way down into attack now. Gets worked under the footy. No free kick. Tanner Bruin with the handball to Green. Green goes back to Tanner Bruin. Right half forward for GWS. Bruin to Perryman. Squeezes it smartly, looking forward for Tom Green. Went through his hands though. And now it's with David Swallow trying to get Gold Coast out of defence.
Goes high in the air. Rao. God, Bruce goes up and takes a big grab on top of Matt Rao. Umpire didn't pay it, so it's come to ground now, and the umpire's going to ball it up just shy of the paint of 50, the Giants attacking end. I guess it didn't really go 15. It went 15 metres in the air. Didn't travel 15 required for him to be paid the mark.
Look great.
Bruce Rao goes in hard here at ground level. He's held without it. Again, the umpire lets them play up against the boundary line. Green off to Cornelio. Curls it across the face of goal. Himmelberg gets set. Can't bring it in with the second bite. Into the pocket now. Hogan gives chase. Has to beat Ellis. Hand pass off to Kelly on his preferred left side. 45 on the tough angle here. It goes right across the face of goal. A little too deep for Bobby Hill, and it bounces out of bounds. In fact, there's going to be a free kick. You can hear the applause of the Giants faithful because the umpire says Bobby Hill copped the shove from Sean Lemons. It's going to be a Giants free kick from deep in the right forward pocket. So the Giants still waiting for a score from either side in this second term. 24-point quarter time lead. We've played 5 minutes now. Opportunity here for Bobby Hill. He became a dad over the off-season. Bobby Jr. curls it around. Left boot, snap. Goal. And the Giants have the first of the second term. 6-4-40 for the Gold Coast Suns, who are 1-4-10. The margin is a clean 5 goals, 5.5 played second quarter grandstand AFL.
No, he's an exciting player, Bobby Hill. I really enjoy watching him play. Fantastic foot skills. Got an unbelievable leap on him as well. And he started the year very, very well. I think round 1 against the Swans, he had a really good impact on the game. Definitely an exciting player to watch.
It's not the start the Suns really wanted. All that effort and for the Giants to come in and kick a goal like that. So they've got to find a way, the Suns. They've got to find a way to get it forward. If the game's going to be played in the Giants forward 50, it's going to be a real long, tough day for them.
Well, they need to get their best player into the game, Tuke Miller. Only 5 possessions for the game so far. Lockie Ash doing an excellent job on him. Hasn't touched it in the second quarter yet, Tuke Miller. His team that he captains trails by 30 points. Bruce tries to palm it down. Josh Kelly's there, couldn't get clean hands on it in the centre of Giants Stadium. Now Gold Coast tries to work it forward. Nick Holman taps it to his advantage. O'Halloran comes across though and collects it for the Giants. Has Connor Iden running off half back. He couldn't collect it though. Sharp is tackled in possession. A lot of hard contest work from both teams, and we'll have a ball up on the 50 favouring Gold Coast. Bruce and Witts. Witts has front position. Jeremy Sharp with a big tackle here, so we'll have another ball up about a metre away from where the first one took place. Ball in attack for Gold Coast, trailed by 30 points early in the second quarter. Bruce wins the ruck work on this occasion. Work it out of defence, do the Giants. Lockie Weller, though, tries to get free of Taranto. Good tackle on him, though. And now GWS can go through O'Halloran. Josh Kelly gets the quick handball to Cornelio, and now he's got Taranto running free.
He's got some space. Taranto has a bounce, sort of pulls the kick a little low now. Ballard slides out now, rebounds the footy now. Collins as well shrugs the tackle, can kick beyond defensive 50, but great desperate act from Josh Kelly coming across. Weller was just waiting for it, and Kelly can spoil out of bounds for a throw in. That will mean a forward 50 stoppage or close to it. 55 around from the Giants' goal, the Olympic Stadium end. An opportunity here for GWS, who lead by 30 points.
I think Taranto didn't know what Keefe was going to do. He should have done a little duck hook back lead, but he's just a bit confused, so he missed the kick.
Bruce down to Green. Cornelio's kick smothered. Great work from Dave Swallow. Whitfield goes inside, forward 50 now on the loose footy toward full forward at the drop again. Jesse Hogan can snap and kicks a second goal in fairly similar style to his first. Jesse Hogan played crummer, had some space to kick, and for that he has goal number 2 this afternoon. The Giants are 7-4-46. It's a game high 36-point lead on the Gold Coast Suns, who are 1-4-10. 8 gone second term ABC Sport. This is Grandstand AFL.
That's the advantage of deep entries and get at the top of the square. It doesn't have to be pretty. You make a contest and then even your big guys are crumbing. So that's what the Giants have done really well. They've attacked with deep entries.
Lockie Keefe there. 2v1, bring you to the front. Won't come up on the stat sheet, Ryan, but that's what you need from the big boys. Just a hardy contest, bring that to ground, and the talent of Hogan can finish it off.
If I want to get votes from you now, I'm getting probably 3 votes for Lockie Keefe, 2 for Braden Pruce, and 1 for Jared Witt. Fair dinkum. A lot of love for the Rucks here on Grandstand AFL.
It's a cult, mate. You've got to know it's a cult.
I've been pumping up Cornelio flat out.
President of the Ruckman Union, Callum Sinclair, on debut doing a sterling job on ABC Grandstand as Gold Coast works it forward, but it's marked back there by Callan Ward, who's been active early in this one. Played game 250 last week in the loss to Richmond. Perhaps his teammates keen to respond for him today. Steve Cornelio, speaking of him, 14 disposals for the afternoon, getting a much-deserved rest on the bench now as Connor Iden moves it out to Matt DeBoer at left half-back for GWS.
He's moving well too. He's getting his hands on the ball. A little bit of freedom, he can actually find it.
With the 6-goal lead, the Giants can afford to chip it around. Whitfield goes to Sammy Taylor and now to Jake Steen at right half-back. Steen looks up the line and then second-guesses himself, and now he's played on, so he has to go all the way back to his full-back in Taylor.
They might switch back the other way here, the GWS Giants. Steen to Taylor, and now Taylor goes wide. Great contested mark taken by Matt DeBoer. Still inside defensive 50 on that southeastern side in front of the Cumberland stand. 36 points is the Giants' lead midway through this second quarter. DeBoer plays on quickly, up to a contest on the wing. At the drop, Rowell goes the shove. Goes the fend. Hand pass off to Swallow. Off a step. High ball inside 50. Numbers in defence. I think Steen almost spoiled his teammate there in Sam Taylor. And it's out of bounds for a throw in. 35 around from the Gold Coast Suns. Goal, scoreboard, end. Giants 7-4. The Gold Coast Suns are 1-4. 10 gone second term.
You don't mind that by Steen. Like, even though he's going to spoil it, he's just killed it. I'm a defender, I'm going to kill it, and my forwards are going to get it. That's all they worry about.
He lined that contest up like one of the hurdles he used to jump over when he was a decathlete. And was full of conviction in the spoil.
Very impressive mullet too, might I add, Jake
Isn't
Steen.
the mullet the hairdo of the year? There's some absolute rude ones out there.
Well, I think it's disgusting. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I can't stand the mullet.
I'm not a fan of it either. But
You're a rare clean cut sort of type, aren't you, in the modern game, Cal?
No ruckman would wear a mullet.
Tuke Miller wins it, puts it to the top of the square for the Suns. Good mark, Casbolt. Did he cop one high? Wasn't paid the mark, wasn't paid the free kick. Ball still in dispute at the top of the square. Casbolt gets hands on it again. A chance for Fiorini, snaps it on his right. O'Halloran puts hands on it, and it's out for a boundary throw-in. Geez, he looked to be stiff there, Levi Casbolt, to not be paid a thing.
Usually gobbles those ones up too.
He threw for a behind, in fact, so the margin back to 35 points now in favour of the Giants.
Casbolt has the only goal so far for the Gold Coast Suns today. 7-1 through the first 40 or so minutes of play. Midway through the second term, Iden buys some space in the left-back pocket, kicks out here. It's a little too deep for Himmelberg coming out to meet it. We'll go end over end and out of bounds for a throw-in at left half-back for GWS. You can text us 0437 774 774. Collingwood Geelong coming up at the MCG. Brisbane, North Melbourne at the Gabba as well for those listening on News Radio through Queensland. The umpire tosses it back in here. Giants lead by 35 points and a free kick here for a high tackle going the Giants' way. Taranto takes the advantage. High ball up inside 50 again. Great grab taken by Graham, the man they call Crab. He can switch the Gold Coast Suns across the defensive line now. Out to some space. Swallow can clear beyond defensive 50. It's bounced off the shins here at Whitfield. The Gold Coast Suns get it back. Hand pass comes from Fiorini. Still alive now for Matt Rowell. Little kick up the corridor will work out okay. Lukosius marks 75 from goal. Wheels around now to find the target, and he finds Sexton. Hits him on the chest. 30 out directly in front.
he's a lovely player, Lukosius. He's had big raps on him since his days at Woodville West Torrens in Adelaide. Playing senior footy as a 18-year-old. So you can see when they get the ball in the hand, the Suns, they are dangerous. They've got some real class. Like Rowell, he's an A-grader. He's going to be a future star of the game. So when they do have it, they're dangerous. Just at the moment, they're just not getting enough of it.
Alex Sexton, twice leading goal kicker at the Gold Coast Suns. This is actually his first goal potentially coming up for season 2022, and it's straight over the goal umpire's hat. So can the Gold Coast Suns build on that? The margin is back to 29 points. 13 gone second term. The Giants remain in control, but Alex Sexton goals for the Gold Coast.
You just see the importance of composure on your entry. Rowell was about 90 out from goal. Just spotted his teammate up there, right in between about 50 and 60 out. Draws the Giants defenders up, opens a gap for Sexton inside 50.
An interesting start to the season for Jack Lukosius. He averaged 20 disposals last campaign, playing mainly off half-back. They moved him further up the ground, only averaging 9 so far this season. But he's up to 6 already this afternoon, and that was a lovely pass for Alex Sexton to kick Gold Coast second of the game. They trail by 29 points, though. Got a lot more work to do.
That just shows how hard it is as a player as a forward, and how much, in all seriousness, how easy it is off half-back to get your hands on the ball. And playing that half forward, and especially with more of our key forwards, it's a super tough position.
Troll wins the ruck tap, but O'Halloran gets it for the Giants off the square. Kelly, handball inside, and now they can go inside attack the Giants. Back there, though, is Lemons for Gold Coast. He takes the mark. Ballard moves it out wide for Jeremy Sharp. He's had a bit of it. He's on the wing for the Suns. Goes up to half forward looking for Holman and Casbolt. Casbolt attacks it on the second bite, though he can't collect it. And it's over for a boundary throw in just outside 50 for Gold Coast.
No, he worked hard there, Casbolt. I think he came from about 50 away. Just sensed a little bit of fight back, Ryan, from the Suns the last few minutes, so it's good to see.
Voice of Callum Sinclair on Grandstand AFL. Back in it comes. Lockie Keefe in front of Chol. And tunneled out here by Fiorini. Still alive here, though, for Perryman, perhaps, of the Giants. Tries to just swaddle away in space. Miller allows it here for his teammate Davies, but it's going to be out of bounds before all of that. And we'll throw it back in at right half forward for the Gold Coast Suns. The Giants lead by 29 points here. 15 gone second quarter.
So Lockie Ash having a stint on the bench. A chance for Tuke Miller to maybe get free, but now Kellen Ward's running with him, and Ward wins it off the ruck contest to Cornelio. He gets it to Taranto. They move it up the wing now. Very good kick. He finds Tom Green, free of his man. He plays on quickly. He's got Josh Kelly running on it. Bounces just over his head. Couple of touches to his advantage. Didn't quite work it out though. Caleb Graham, who was under no pressure whatsoever, took it over the boundary line, and therefore he's done so deliberately. Free kick for GWS at left half forward. Panics a little bit there to Caleb Graham. Now Cornelio looking for possession. 16, marks it just outside attacking 50. Gets around his man on the left. He puts it to the top of the square. Big leap by Himmelberg. Excellent pack mark. Super work. Harry Himmelberg got both mitts up and took that on the way down.
I'll sound like a broken record, but the deep entry, top of the square, it's simple football, but it works. It always works. You see the good teams have always got that part of it. If there's not a clear forward leading up to hit the lead, just attack the top of the square and let the big guys fly and make a contest.
Harry Himmelberg, the third highest goal kicker in GWS history, has one already today, and now he's got two. The Giants out to a 35-point lead in time on in the second quarter, or 16 minutes gone, sorry. Big grab and a quality conversion.
Where does Harry Himmelberg sit with you, Ryan, in the key forwards in the league? I think people probably thought that, when Jeremy Cameron left, he'd probably get a little bit more attention. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. But from my perspective, playing against him a few times and the way he started the year, I think he's been super the last 12 months.
Yeah, look, he's not really that key forward. He's that hybrid forward. Like he's so agile and sharp on the ground. And he's obviously got a good set of mitts and can leap. So he's that sort of hybrid in between forward. And as that sort of player, I'd say he's one of the most dangerous in the comp. I think what's made his game better at the start of this season is his work rate.
We start back in the middle. Keith kept his feet, pats it down here. Miller there for the Gold Coast Suns, slips away. Now Ash gets first hands on the footy, but he was actually holding Miller out of it. So a free kick of the Gold Coast Suns. Tuke Miller plays on in bright sunshine here at Giants Stadium. High ball down the corridor. Lukosius gets set from the back, can't complete the mark. Overrun by Casbolt. Holman tackled, dispossessed as well. Haynes is down here for the Giants. Hand pass comes off to Tuke Miller. Flying shot on goal. It's missing everything to the near side. Out of bounds on the full. He got the hand pass from Ainsworth, and Miller was off balance when he kicked, so no change to the score. The Giants 8-4-52. The Gold Coast Suns 2-5-17. 18 gone second term.
He's in a bit of trouble, Haynes.
Yeah.
He's no good. He's hurt his ankle.
I think he's gone here. That's the message from the trainer to the bench. Nick Haynes hobbling off, hopping on one leg now. It looks like his ankle is hurt pretty badly, and I reckon this could be sub time for the Giants. Such an important player, Nick Haynes. Looks like his day might be done. Boundary throw in just outside 50 for the Suns. You hear the round of applause for Nick Haynes now as he makes his way over the boundary line. Noah Anderson puts it into the pocket for Gold Coast over the head of Casbolt and Taylor with the boundary throw in.
In an ideal world, you probably just want that kick just a little bit centre. Give yourself a bit better chance of hitting the scoreboard.
Out on the full, sorry, it was.
So the Giants with the footy back. Taylor stumps it beyond defensive 50 again. Chol up in front. Didn't complete the mark. Swatted away here in space. Rowell goes in hard. Swoops his way through a Peatling tackle. The umpire will ball it up. 55 from the Suns' goal. The scoreboard end. 35 points is the Giants. They look at Emerson can boundary side very shortly as it's picked up here by Sharp. His kick smothered. Loose footy. Cornelio there. One of three Giants captains this year. Shares it back up the line. Kick was a little tight up the boundary line this time from Perryman, and it is out of bounds for a throw-in. So on the outer wing, southeastern side here at Giants Stadium. 8-4 plays 2-5. The Giants in control.
I've been very conscious, Brady, of not pumping up key forward for the last 10 minutes, or Ruckman.
Don't be too conscious. I love your insight. Doesn't matter about the bias between Ruckman.
Avio Chol at front position in that ruck contest, and a free kick against Keefe. So Gold Coast play on quickly. They pump it into attack. It's just Giants back there though, and Jake Steen can watch it trickle over the boundary line in the forward pocket for Gold Coast. Perhaps not the best effort on that occasion by Noah Anderson.
Well, you can see the Suns are just trying to get a bit of field position. They're not they're just getting it long. Doesn't matter. They just want to try and get the game forward in their forward half.
Chol and Keefe again. Chol has front position. Lockie Ashes down there. Taranto squeezes it forward. Isaac Cumming marks it. Did it go 15? Yes, it did. So Isaac Cumming can relieve pressure for the Giants, who lead by 35 points late in the second quarter here at Giants Stadium.
Just ticked into time on. Cumming his way around Ainsworth. His kick up the line finds Perryman. So the Giants from left half back. Nearly every player on the ground is between the arcs on the outer wing.
Nick Payne's testing out his
Perryman goes high towards the contest on the outer wing. On hands and knees. It's come away here. Sharp to Miller. Sharp gets loose. Boundary side now. Comes inboard, and now Davies is bumped over the boundary line for a throw-in. Emma Simpkin downstairs on the boundary.
Nick Haynes testing out that ankle. It looks like the left ankle, the inside of the ankle. The medico's having a look. He's back on his feet at the moment, so he may not be out of action just yet.
The inside ankle's no good. That's the one you sort of don't want hurt. Hopefully it's not a syndesmosis, because if we get that, that's pretty much done for the year.
The sub Adam Kennedy was having a bit of a chat to him, so he's starting to limber up. We'll see if they make the change as Miller goes to Chol, who can play on quickly, and on his left he just lost possession as he tried to pull the trigger and send it into attack. He's able to recover well though. There's a teammate running next to him. And they can put it into attack now through Sharp. Jake Steen in the contest with Koshia. Steen did well to win it, especially when the ball hit the turf. And now through Cullen Ward, they move it out to left half back. And it's marked by Braden Pruce.
They're just not really putting an effort in the contest here at Gold Coast. The Giants are taking too many easy marks and contested ball. They just got to, especially ahead of the ball in their full line, they've got to make much more of an effort to make contact.
Biden swings it around here for Steen from the right back pocket. Cornelio marks the centre half back. He was off. Plays on around Ainsworth. Looks for options. In the middle of the Giants Stadium, De Boer's a little too deep for him. Rao gets there for the Suns. Dumped in a big tackle. Gets the hand pass off though. Comes from Fiorini, and now Dave Swallow run down from behind by Peatling. Great effort from the Giants. They rebound the football. Keith hand pass in space for Whitfield. Slaps it forward here for Perryman. 65 from the Giants goal. Whitfield shares it back to Perryman by hand. Perryman now centering kick. Cornelio and Rowell in the contest. Rowell wins it away, and the Gold Coast Suns can rebound.
Rowell to the wing. Casbolt leads Taylor to the football. It's set up nicely for him, Casbolt. Snaps it to half forward now, looking for Ainsworth in front of Cumming. Cumming watched him closely though and tackled him, and the ball goes over the boundary line. So
he's done well there, Isaac Cumming, not to be able to ride him in the back there. They're red hot on that, so to be able to tackle and then fall to the side so he didn't drive him into the ground. It's good technique.
Only 5 possessions for Braden Ainsworth. Cumming doing a good job on him. Here's Pruce, hands it back to Perryman. He works it up to half forward. Peatling's there, collected it well on the half volley. Handball to Taranto. His handball went over the head of De Boer though. Suns under pressure. They get it back to the Giants in attack. Taranto looking for Hill. Hill moved it forward inside 50 via the handball. Can Taranto swoop? He's watched closely there by a couple of Suns, and here's Noah Anderson. They've won the free kick, Gold Coast, and they'll play on.
It's away off the half-back line now. It's a nicely weighted kick to Fiorini, marking in space just behind the wing commentary side. So good ball use from Anderson to find Fiorini. Up the boundary line he goes. 2 teammates got in the way of each other. Davies drifting across his teammate there in Ainsworth, and now it's going to be a free kick going the way of the Giants for Cumming, taken without the football by Ellis. Isaac Cumming down in front of you, Emma Simpkin.
Yeah, Nick Haynes is back on his feet, running up and down the sidelines just to test out that ankle. They've put some tape on it, so he's just going over to talk to the medicos now.
It'll be quite a comeback. Meanwhile, holding the ball here is a nice tackle effected by Caleb Graham, as it's come up the broadcast side. And Bruin for the Giants out of a tackle, shares it to Ward. And now Cumming sends it wide by hands. Hogan dispossessed. Works out okay though. Peatling tumbles it up the line inside forward 50. The ball was manhandled in the pocket. Ball again jars free. They pile in from all angles, and the umpire will at last ball it up. 45 out from the Giants goal. Apologies to the South Sydney winger, Campbell Graham. I think that's who I was thinking of. Caleb Graham, the defender for the Gold Coast Suns. It's the Giants who lead by 35 points. 25 go on second turn.
Bruce palms it down. Anderson tries to hack it out of mid-air. Lockie Ash is there. Bruce tries to get hands on it again. Ball in dispute inside 50 for the Giants. Lockie Ash shanked it when he had a shot on goal off the left. Favours Himmelberg, though. Can he get hands on it? He can't. It goes over the boundary line. And good news for the Giants, who lead by 35 points here late in the second quarter. Nick Haynes on his feet. He's going to test that ankle out. Looks like he's about to make his way back onto the ground.
A bit unlucky there, Giants. They could have had a couple of free kicks and shots on goal there. I thought a few things were let go.
Back in it comes. And that stoppage, Rowell trying to get there first as Bruce goes with him. Laser follow-up tackle, and the umpire's going to say, holding the ball. Well, Rowell was first to the footy, made no attempt to keep it moving. Bruce was all over him, and that's a textbook holding the ball decision.
Probably not much you can do with him, Matt Rowell. Bruce is a big man. He's probably just encapsulated him. What I would say, though, is that, yes, the Giants do look good with ball in hand, but I think their pressure this quarter has been unbelievable. Gold Coast looking very jumpy, fumbling the footy a little bit, but their press, their hardness around the contest, it's been super.
Braden Bruce for his first goal as a Giant. He curls around from the pocket but misses near side. So it's a margin of 36 points. Giants 8-5-53. Suns 2-5-17. 26 played second quarter on ABC Grandstand AFL.
Lockie Weller goes short and finds Tuke Miller in the pocket. Lockie Ash still watching him closely. Miller goes up to the wing now. Good lead by Casbolt. He didn't mark it though. Sammy Taylor kept his feet. Here's Tom Green just inside 50 for the Giants. Open square. It just faded to the right-hand side and through for a behind. The lead now 37 points as we get close to half-time at Giants Stadium.
It's a game-high lead at least. The Suns kick out from goal from Powell. Long kick up the line now. Cumming tries to make a contest down there on Fiorini. Taylor just tumbles it back the other way for the Giants. It'll land at half forward. Hogan out to meet the football here. It's going to be a free kick going the Suns' way. And also what was that for? Oh, Lemons has it. Cornelio stands the mark. I think it was the Jesse Hogan situation a short time ago. Lemons on the angle here. It's a Sharp on the outer wing. Tries to slap it out to advantage. Fiorini does well. Hand pass back to Powell. Off a couple of steps. He can work it wide to Lukosius. He's unmarked just forward of the wing. 65 out here for the Gold Coast Suns. Pops it inside forward. 50. Big Levi's there. Made ground. Took the overhead mark. 25. Make it 30 out. An angle slightly better than 45 degrees.
Now this is probably the knock on his game is his kicking. So, as I said, he's got a good pair of hands, even though he's dropped a few lately in this quarter. This is probably a reason why he had to move on to probably another club, or he's probably hasn't really taken that next step as a premier key forward.
After 10 years at Carlton, Levi Casbolt, he kicked the Gold Coast Suns first this afternoon. Here he is on the approach from 30, and he has sneaked it through. Casbolt's got a couple. The Giants 8-6-54. The Gold Coast Suns now it's a 3-5-23. 28 go on second term here on Grandstand AFL.
Well, it's the first time they looked like they moved the ball with a little bit of purpose and direction. Besides that, they really struggled to get it past halfway. But I think they got a lucky free. I still scratching my head why that was against Jesse Hogan when he got shoved out. But they made the most of it. And look, they need to add more to their game than just try and be attacking off some sort of turnover or anything like that. So, yeah, there's still some questions on this Gold Coast Suns for mine.
The voice of Norm Smith medalist Ryan O'Keefe on ABC Grandstand on your Saturday afternoon. The Giants lead by 31 points as we get close to half-time. Levi Casbolt with a couple for the Suns, including the most recent one. Braden Bruce on debut, wins the ruck tap, gets it to Tom Green. His handball only as far as Fiorini, though. Now the Suns off half-back through. Lockie Weller can go into attack again. He looks for Casbolt once more. It just bounces in front of him and trickles over the boundary line. A good contest this, Casbolt and Taylor. Taylor's done pretty well so far, but Levi has a couple.
No, certainly. Taylor is definitely, I believe, one of the best key defenders in the competition. He's only 21, 22. Yeah, so he's very young. He's done some big jobs in the AFL. Lynch, Franklin, all those sorts of guys.
Braden Bruce front position on Witts, palmed it down. Perryman watches it closely. It's deep in defence for the Giants, who have a big lead in this game. Witts with the big tackle. The ball spills free. Alex Davies is there, so his Wits tries to get the handball free. Now it's Sexton, couldn't quite collect it. Now the Giants can. Canelio to Taranto.
They can clear here, the Giants, toward the outer side, but only blue and gold jumpers back there. Drop back with the flight, Caleb Graham. Giants can mop up now. Kelly, hand pass out to space for Hogan. Awkward ball for him, though. Kept it moving back by hand to Tanner Bruin. Sweeps it wide to the half-forward flank. Here is Keefe in space. Closes to 40. Lockie Keefe, the big man. He's hit the right-hand goalpost.
I was out of my chance, Briggy.
Everything but the finish comes. Sinclair was riding it home.
It was a shin guard, I reckon. Hit the shin guard.
The Giants, 8-7-55. The Gold Coast Suns, 3-5-23.
Oh, the skipper was all alone in the middle of the ground too. I was thinking he's going to live or die by the sword.
Stuff him.
Will Powell goes short to Dave Swallow. Up to the wing. Can the Suns get another one just before half-time? Big Levi in the contest. Off hands. Here's Braden Ellis. Brandon Ellis has been quiet so far. Good tackle by Holman on Lockie Ash. He's wearing rugby union style headgear, is Nick Holman, and that was a rugby union style tackle on Lockie Ash.
You reckon he's trying to avoid the cauliflower ears there, Garbs?
It looks like the exact sort of headgear that a prop wears to do just that, Ryan. So maybe Braden Pruce wins the ruck contest easily, slams it on the boot, into attack. Keith tries to allow the ball to bounce. And he's given away a free kick for blocking his man out of the contest. Sam Collins chips short and finds Lockie Weller. They work it out to half-back and Sean Lemons. And there is the half-time siren. So excellent work from GWS here at home. They lead by 32 points. A big response so far after a poor performance on the MCG on Sunday against the Tigers. They are 8-7-55 at the main break. Gold Coast 3-5-23.
Goal kickers to half-time. Jesse Hogan has 2. Himmelberg has 2 for the Giants as well. Singles to Tom Green, Matt DeBoer, Lockie Keefe and Bobby Hill. Meanwhile, for the Gold Coast Suns, their goal kickers thus far are Sexton, Casbolt, and in fact Casbolt has a couple. Yes, Casbolt has 2 and Sexton has the other ones. The Giants by 31 points at the major break here at Giant Stadium. Our experts on Grandstand AFL are Ryan O'Keefe and Callum Sinclair.
Look, the Giants started the game with total intention to be competitive and fierce at the contest, and that's what they've brought. And they've been super strong with that. But the Gold Coast have been polar opposites. They just really haven't had much of a fight at all in the contest, and they're just not getting their hands on the ball. When they do get their hands on the ball, as I said, they've got some class and they've got some really highly talented players, but they're just not getting it in because they're not working hard enough or not winning the contest for mine. So they're just showing nothing in that aspect to me.
Well, you walked into the box today, you know, Coach of the Year, 2 grand finals you've won this morning with the kids. You're in there at half-time as a Gold Coast Suns coach. What's your message? How are you going to get this game back on level playing terms? Because at the moment, they're just running around the Giants with a pretty even spread of possession getters, goal kickers. What are you thinking?
Well, they're not going near an opponent for starters. They're banking the whole game, for me, is on the attack or on the Giants making a turnover and then trying to counter-punch off that. But when the Giants get the ball in hand, they've got multiple options. And the other thing is, when it's your turn to go, you've got to win the contest or halve it. There was a prime example when Taranto just booted it from half-back late in that quarter there. And it was a 3v1, and Jesse Hogan halved it and waited for the cavalry to come back. Gold Coast should have mopped that up and should have gone back with interest. I thought, Taranto's just kicked a shocker here. But the Giants end up getting a forward 50 entry and a shot on goal. That sort of contest, when you're outnumbering the opposition 3-1, you can't lose them. And that's what good teams would never do, or the good teams will halve it, what Jesse Hogan did.
And we've harped on about it as well, is those deep entries from both teams. You'd even seen when the Suns went in during that quarter, Casbolt gets a run and jump at it. It looks quite good. Harry Himmelberg, Jesse Hogan's hands are going really well. So it's a junior footy thing. Get it in deep, give your big guys a crack. But it also brings those smalls into the game. They've had a few front and centres. Jesse Hogan played that kind of small role. Matt DeBoer's hit the scoreboard. Bobby Hill as well. So doesn't matter whether you're the Giants or the Suns. Get it in deep. Get a good contest just outside the goal square, because it not only brings the big fellas into the game, but also the smalls of their feet.
Yeah, and it's not just a junior footy thing. I think it's most football. As you said, you're big guys. Your role is to make a contest. As long as you don't get outmarked, we don't care if you mark it or just bring it to the ground, and it becomes predictable to your crumbing players. But then also what it does, it makes it easy to defend behind as well. So even if you do get outmarked, the opposition has to bring it the full length of the ground through your whole team to defend. Plus, it gives you a chance in midfielders and everything behind the ball to set up a bit of structure so you can get those repeat entries. So, stats that coaches like to look at are forward 50 stoppages and repeat entries. It's not the number of inside 50s, it's how many times you can get a stoppage in there or get the repeat, because that builds pressure, and generally, as we have seen this game, a score comes off the back of it.
And I think at times like this, when if you are the Gold Coast Suns, like, get the ball inside 50. Don't do anything pretty. Let's just get a few repeat stoppages, build a little bit of pressure that way, and exactly what you said, give your defenders the ability to set up behind the footy. And you're right, they have to come through all 18 of us. But as we know, the game's won at the source. Camilio, De Boer, Kelly, Whitfield, all finding plenty of the footy and being pretty smart with it going inside 50.
The Giants by 31 points at the major break. The thoughts of Callum Sinclair and Ryan O'Keefe off the SMS 0437 774 774. Tim from Wodonga says, fantastic to see Braden Bruce finally getting an opportunity to be number one ruckman and realise his potential after being stuck behind Goldstein and Gawn at his last two clubs. At 206 centimetres and 114 kilos, he is an actual giant. Perhaps it was destiny, says Tim from Wodonga. Yeah, Braden Bruce making his debut for GWS, or his club debut with the Giants today. Second half coming up, some stats with Daniel Garb and some around the ground scores. Plenty of those happening in different sports as well. All that to come shortly. Repeating that, it'll be Melbourne and Adelaide playing off in the AFLW Premiership decider, the grand final next week at Adelaide Oval after they won their respective prelims earlier today as well. All of the details on that still to come, but right now it's time for us to head to the ABC newsroom.
ABC News with Satyam Weinstein. A free trade deal is being signed between Australia and India in a multi-million-dollar boost to exports. The interim agreement follows more than a decade of protracted negotiations and won't include some key Australian products like beef and dairy, but the Trade Minister Dan Tehan says it will open up a number of opportunities and eliminate tariffs on 85% of Australian exports such as wine, lentils, wool and rare earths.
India is the fastest growing large global economy. We expect that our exports will grow from $15 billion to $45 billion by 2035 as a result of this deal.
Flood-affected people living in emergency accommodation on the New South Wales far north coast are being forced to relocate as tourists head to the region. The New South Wales Community and Justice Department says flood victims will need to check out of hotels as most have been pre-booked for Easter holidays, school holidays and the Blues Fest Music Festival. Deputy Secretary Paul Vevers says people staying at motorhomes and recreation parks won't have to move, but accommodation is being provided for others.
The only accommodation that we could secure is in Grafton, Gold Coast Airport and Brisbane. We will provide transport for people to get there, and they can stay there right throughout the Easter period and the school holiday period.
Huge swells battering parts of the New South Wales coast along with a king tide has seen massive beach erosion. The Weather Bureau says most of the large seas are from the New South Wales Hunter region down to the Victorian border. Bondi and Bronte beaches in Sydney's east have both suffered damage to infrastructure. Waverley Mayor Paula Mazzelos says the water was coming up to the roadway on the southern end of Bondi.
Parts of the railings around the pool and around North Bondi Pool have been damaged, probably to New Zealand by now with some of it. And Knots Avenue definitely is closed because the sea has been so powerful, the waves have been so high that they've actually been reaching Knots Avenue.
A convoy of buses carrying residents from the besieged southern Ukrainian city of Mariupol has reached the relative safety of the nearby city of Zaporizhia. It travelled from the occupied port of Berdansk, about 2,000 people who'd managed to make their own way out of Mariupol. However, a Red Cross operation to take in aid and evacuate residents from shelling in the city has been frustrated for a second day. Red Cross spokesperson Alona Senensko says the stumbling block is a lack of concrete agreements over humanitarian corridors.
On all levels, they have to be respected, and to be communicated through the chain of command, and everyone must be aware. And this is not just a choice. This is the responsibility on both sides of this conflict under the international humanitarian law.
US President Joe Biden has hailed a UN-brokered truce in Yemen as a long-awaited reprieve for the Yemeni people. The 2-month truce between the Saudi-led coalition and Iranian-backed Houthi rebels will begin today. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says that the truce will help much-needed humanitarian aid reach civilians.
The parties accepted to halt all offensive military, air, ground and maritime operations inside Yemen and across its borders. They also agreed for fuel ships to enter into Udeida port and commercial flights to operate in and out of Sana'a airport to predetermined destinations in the region.
The ruling military in the West African nation of Mali says it's killed more than 200 militants in a major operation. It says troops captured more than 50 people and seized a large stock of weapons. The developing nation struggled with a years-long Islamist insurgency. Argentina's President Alberto Fernandez has declared the Falkland Islands are Argentine territory on the 40th anniversary of the start of the Falklands War with Britain. The BBC's Taylor Allen reports.
On the 2nd of April 1982, a long-standing dispute over the sovereignty of the Falklands took a violent turn when Argentine forces landed on the shores of the remote South Atlantic territory. Britain responded by sending a task force of more than 100 Royal Navy and civilian ships, which took nearly 3 weeks to reach the islands. The Defence Secretary, Ben Wallace, said the 255 members of the UK military who died during the fighting to recapture the Falklands should never be forgotten.
And in the AFLW, the Adelaide Crows will host the Melbourne Demons in the grand final after defeating Fremantle by 14 points at Adelaide Oval. The Crows will be looking to win their third premiership since the league launched in 2017. You're now up to date with the very latest from ABC News.
If you're not going through an emergency situation right now, it might be the perfect time to explore the all-new ABC Emergency website. ABC Emergency lets you search for incidents near you, or you can check on other locations around the country. There's also a handy button that lets you listen to the local ABC radio station closest to the emergency. abc.net.au/emergency. Save it in your favourites now and keep listening to ABC Radio, your emergency broadcaster.
The 2022 AFL Premiership season.
Grandstand AFL.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Opportunity here for Bobby Hill. Curls it around, left boot, snap, goal. The Giants have the first of the second term. Whitfield goes inside, forward 50 now on the loose footy toward full forward at the drop again. Jesse Hogan can snap and kicks a second goal. Still alive now for Matt Rowell. Little kick up the corridor will work out okay. Lukosius marks 75 from goal. Wheels around now to find the target, and he finds Sexton. Alex Sexton, twice leading goal kicker at the Gold Coast Suns. This is actually his first goal potentially coming up for season 2022, and it's straight over the goal umpire's hat.
Harry Himmelberg, the third highest goal kicker in GWS history, has one already today, and now he's got two. Giants out to a 35-point lead.
Levi Casbolt kicked the Gold Coast Suns first this afternoon. Here he is on the approach from 30, and he has sneaked it through.
This is the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Half-time here at Giants Stadium, where GWS 8-7-55 leads the Gold Coast Suns 3-5-23. Margin is 32 points for the Giants at the major break. You're with Brett Sprigg, Daniel Garb, Ryan O'Keefe, Callum Sinclair with Emma Simpkin on the boundary. A few things happening around the grounds. Earlier in the AFLW prelims, Adelaide beat Freo 6-4-42, 4-2-26. So a 14-point game there. That means they will host Melbourne, who won the other prelim over Brisbane by 4 points. 5-3 plays 4-5 earlier at the MCG. So next week, Saturday, April 9 at Adelaide Oval, it'll be 12:30pm Australian. I'd take it to be standard time. There is the time difference, I suppose, to factor in because daylight saving ends tonight. But it'll be next Saturday around lunchtime at Adelaide Oval, the Crows and the Demons in the AFLW Grand Final.
And that's 1v2 at the end of the season, so the top two come through playing the grand final.
I think it's something like 4 grand finals in 6 years for the Adelaide Crows in the AFLW comp, so that gives you some idea of that for them. Elsewhere, NRL scores. Redcliffe, the Warriors beat the Broncos 20 points to 6. It's midway through the first half in Mudgee, where Manly Warringah leads Canberra 10 points to 0. Later on, the Cowboys and the Roosters. WA sports fans, a couple of very important finals happening. Sheffield Shield final, of course. Day 3 at the WACA ground, where Victoria was all out for 306, which was, 80 runs shy of WA's first innings of 386. WA, the second digger, 1 for 8, with Cameron Bancroft, the first innings centurion, out for a third ball duck. Whiteman and Sean Marsh are on 3 and 5 at the crease for WA, but having lost Cameron Bancroft for a third ball duck, that's how that match is poised. WA lead by 88 runs overall in the second innings, and that would be approaching the final session on day 3 over there. There's also the WNBL Grand Final. Game 1, the Perth Lynx away to the Melbourne Boomers. This is a 3-game series. The Lynx in control, lead 65-41 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter there. And that game 2 will be in Perth on Wednesday night. So the Lynx in the box seat there to win game 1 and potentially win the WNBL Championship on their home court at the WA Basketball Centre on Wednesday evening. And in the A-League, of course, the men's competition still going. Melbourne City 4 leads Wellington Phoenix 0. And later on today, it'll be a Sydney derby, Sydney FC and the Western Sydney Wanderers, as well as Adelaide United up against Melbourne Victory as far as tonight's games are concerned. 0437 774 774 is the SMS number. You can get in touch with us via text. And, the Oz kickers are out there. We had some bright sunshine, which has been rare for us in Sydney the past few weeks. And the shadow is moving across the ground now for the first of these 2 big games. Later on, 3 big games, because later on you'll have Collingwood Geelong up next for most of our audience at the MCG, while if you are listening through Queensland News Radio, it's Brisbane and North Melbourne coming up at the Gabba.
I'll tell you what, let's just talk a little bit about Adelaide like you were before. Jordan Dawson, go off the side of the showdown. How good was that?
Incredible finish last night. I mean, I know that Matthew Nix has described him as the perfect player. That was the perfect moment, wasn't it? Nothing within.
Wasn't the perfect kick.
Wasn't the perfect kick by any means, but he's a teammate of yours at the Sydney Swans. He's gone across to the Crows now. What sort of a bloke is he?
No, he's a ripper, and sadly missed not only from a personal point of view. Very popular member of the playing group. Very funny, very good guy. Hard trainer, very hard trainer actually, but professionally as a footballer, very, very talented. He reminds me of a young Ryan O'Keefe. Beautiful skills.
Huge rap.
Yeah. Beautiful skills. But and also talking about haircuts earlier before, I was just watching the Oz kick out there. There's a few mullets running around out there. I was actually quite surprised.
It is the GOAT trend.
It's the cut of their kids. The kids love it. I know my son has been desperate. I want a mullet. And his mum says, no way, not a hope in hell.
Good, hold firm.
You know you're getting old when the haircut that is in vogue in the day is something you disagree with.
Yeah.
Then you know, I reckon that's the best sign of ageing. Just quickly, big Western Derby tomorrow. Callum's old mod, the Eagles, 12 changes, as was expected, but the likes of Gaff, Jermaine Jones, Josh Kennedy, Nick Natanui, Jack Redden, Josh Rotham, all back into the Eagles side. They have lost Tim Kelly with the hamstring injury, and then a host of players out through protocols. Willie Rioli, Luke Shuey, and obviously the top-up players go out of the side. The Dockers welcome back Matt Taberner, important for them. And Neil Erasmus, who was a first-round draft pick, he will make his debut in the Derby. Caleb Sarong out injured for Fremantle, as is Sean Darcy, the big ruckman.
Derby 54. You played in some big games. You played in grand finals for the West Coast Eagles. I mean, it's always a big week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive. It's very finals-like playing in the Derby over there, and it's unreal, particularly, if it's a Freo home game, you've got the purple supporters absolutely going bananas, but it wasn't too much fun coming up against Aaron Sandlands every single time. So I remember Nick Nat went down in the first quarter. I was kind of playing the pinch-hitting role, and unfortunately had 3.5 quarters against Aaron Sandlands against 50,000 purple purple fans. But the worst bit of that one is when there's a boundary throw in, you're caught behind him and you see number 31, his number, just in your face. And there's a fair bit of torso to go. He's massive. And he's actually he's a ripper bloke as well. I'm not sure what he's doing actually with himself. He might be coaching somewhere. But
he was doing a bit of coaching around the place at East Fremantle, doing some part-time stuff, and maybe also with the AFLW team, I'm pretty sure. He was doing some stuff there at Freo. But it is interesting. I mean, the build-up is like no other. When you've got all these players in health and safety protocols, it was a nightmare for West Coast last week. Sort of a bit shared around now between West Coast and Freo as far as the COVID situation goes on the West Coast.
Well, we're not going to go into politics here.
Please,
let's do it. Let's have a crack.
Please do not.
For the WA people. So we'll leave that alone. Wonder why it's all blown on the face. But anyway, look, it's going to be one of those things where teams are going to have, big lists and be flexible, and who knows.
Well, we saw that last week. West Coast had, I think they had 4 of their top-up players, including Aaron Black, who is a star in the WAFL, and a send over.
That was good to see him get a run.
Well, it wasn't like it was so unusual. I did that game at Docklands last week against North Melbourne. He played 200-plus games of off. It wasn't like he was just a mature age pick at 24, 25. He was 29, won a send over 8 years ago, 200-plus games on the team there at West Perth. And it gives us some idea of the guys who will get opportunities because of this scenario. But yes, Western Derby 54 will be a strange one tomorrow out west. Second half not too far away here. We did see Nick Haynes come off with an ankle injury. He went back on late in that second term, which is good news for the GWS Giants. They lead here by 32 points. How do the Gold Coast Suns fight their way back in, Callum Sinclair?
Oh, it starts at the source. I think me and Ryan are sounding like a broken record here at the moment. We keep talking about it, but it really comes down to being desperate, being first. But I just think it's pretty simple. Tackles, bumps, get a bit of physicality amongst the contest and just play a little bit of territory game.
Yeah, spot on. Nothing else needs to be said. Actions need to be shown by the Gold Coast Suns.
Do you give the old-fashioned spray at half-time, or what do you think?
You can't do that today, Cal, you know that.
We'll talk about sprays another time.
Stewie Dew firing up his Gold Coast Suns downstairs, maybe. Second half underway. Here's Daniel Garb on Grandstand AFL.
The Giants lead by 32 points late in the Saturday afternoon. A clear one here in Sydney. Witts wins the tap, falling backwards. Trick Miller tries to win it on hands and knees for Gold Coast, but the Giants do, and Tom Green slams it on the brute. It tumbles torpedo style into attack. A chance for Peatling to gather his tackled on the way down by Brandon Ellis. Here's Bobby Hill. They work it backwards. And once more from Perryman to Ash. Ash works it into attack now over the head of Peatling, though. And Ellis is able to mark. He got a knock across the head as he fell backwards into Taranto's knee. Goes short to Lockie Weller. Plays on quickly, does Ellis, because that didn't go the full 15. Up to the wing, looking for Casbolt. Taylor's there. Affected the contest. Lockie Ash is first to it. Handball backwards. Isaac Cumming running off half-back. Loops it over to Harry Perryman, and he's in space on the wing.
Looks at the options here upfield. Perryman goes up inside forward 50. Keith leads up in from behind. Powell did well at the drop. It's knocked away. Also Collins involved as well on defence as Hogan tumbles it back in the corridor now for the Giants. Picked off, though, by the Gold Coast Suns, and they come away through Holman. Great rebound work here, the Gold Coast Suns. Holman kicks up to a contest. Taylor tangled up down there with Casbolt. Casbolt does well. Hand pass off to Jeremy Sharp, running by unmarked. Bobs it up inside forward 50. Strong grab taken here by Ainsworth. 45 out. Boundary line slightly to his right. The angle and the distance may test him, but Ainsworth wants to make sure the Gold Coast Suns get full value for that build-up play.
It's a good catch there by Ainsworth. Good pair of hands.
It's 2 goals, 2 this season so far for Ben Ainsworth. Will cross the boundary line to kick, lays into it from the paint of 50. He'll drop it short here to the top of the square. It's through Swallow's fingertips. Wrapped up down there as well is big Jared Witts, and the umpire will ball it up deep in attack for the Gold Coast Suns.
And this is what we're talking about, Ryan. Start getting a few stoppages there inside 50, building a bit of pressure, allow your defence to set up.
All up in front of the square. Lockie Whitfield collects it and gives it to Tom Green, and now the Giants can rebound. Callan Ward goes short and finds Jesse Hogan a long way from goal at centre half back for GWS. Thinks about playing on. Had a fair few options, but just dwelled a little bit, did Jesse Hogan. Gold Coast did well to get numbers back, so he sends it out to the wing. Charlie Ballard's in front of Harry Himmelberg. Himmelberg did well to spoil, and we'll have a boundary throw in on the outer wing. As the sun starts to go down here in Sydney, the lights are on and the Giants lead by 32 points early in the third quarter.
Also, I'm disappointed that one of the trees up behind the goals there has grown so tall you now can't see the Harbour Bridge. Usually you can see it from this commentary box, but it's a fair way away, but you can see it on a clear day. The tree's in the way. Anyway, Miller gets in the way of the footy. Guys, a hand pass out here for the Suns. It's out in space. Hill comes the other way for the Giants, and he's wrapped up in turn, back edge of the square. The umpire says, give it to me. And we'll ball up at half forward for the Giants.
Just quickly, Steve Cornelio up to 22 disposals, averaged 21 for the season before today.
Ball in the air. Taranto spent it before he had it. Worried out of the kick. Hand pass comes from Atkins to Swallow. The young West Aussie, well, not so young anymore. The veteran now, the Gold Coast Suns, Dave Swallow. Up the line for Lukosius from the outer wing. It's called to play on. Kicks toward the paint of 50. Up inside the arc now. Casbolt has 3 to beat. Ward at the drop there in defence for the Giants. And now Whitfield turns a high ball beyond defensive 50. Lukosius goes back with the flight and marks. I'll start again from the wing, the Suns. No change to our halftime score. The Giants lead by 32.
Lukosius just guides one for the lead of Ainsworth. Just outside 50. Leapt well, took it. Now plays on. Does Ben Ainsworth. Puts it into attack. Looking for Casbolt, and he marks it well. Timed his leap superbly. Big contest. There were 4 in that pack. And big Levi Casbolt takes a contested mark, and he'll snap one from about 15 metres out.
That's better from Gold Coast. The repeat entries, they're putting pressure on. They're not letting the Giants get fast ball movement out. So, look, that's a much better way they started this quarter.
He's given a good contest, Casbolt. He's been good.
He's kicked a couple today, has big Levi. He'll snap this from just inside the boundary line, makes his way in now, and he kicks cleanly. So 3 goals to Levi Casbolt this afternoon. They needed that one badly, did the Gold Coast Suns. And they've got the first of this third quarter.
Which tree was that, Spriggy, behind the goals?
I don't know. I can't describe. I don't know what the tree's actually called. You're testing my knowledge of...
I can see from here, Sprigger. So I've got the first-class seats.
Later, I love to seeing trees grow and having the natural elements around us.
Nice to know you're engaged in the game.
You can see wow. To be fair, this game has gone to no real heights in the first couple of quarters. But
if Gold Coast keep getting it in, like Casbolt has been lively. He's been probably the lone soldier up there, and he's made plenty of contests. As I said, we mentioned how good a pair of hands he is, and he's actually kicking straight today. So
probably could have taken 4 or 5 extra marks as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So they're just going to get it there. Attack you've got Chold up there as well. Let's attack the top of the square. Let's not be fancy, Gold Coast. Get it in there. Let those 2 big guys fly, and then work off them.
Restart back in the middle. Bruce against Witts. Unkind bounce for Taranto. Witts follows up. Hurries it towards half forward. Holman in the hole did very well. Hand pass back off to Atkins, the former Crow. Inside 50. Kick was a little deep. A good follow-up, though, from Ainsworth. Turns from the pocket. 50 out. High toward the teeth of goal again. Coming in from the side, Taylor. Copped a bit of contact. That will be a free kick going the way of the GWS Giants.
So that's good. Keep doing that. That shows a bit of contest, a bit of physicality that we've asked them to do.
And now Taylor has to clear for the GWS Giants.
Plays it out to half back. Good mark from Lockie Whitfield. Didn't have to jump for that, just watched it closely. Kept his feet, took it with 2 hands outstretched over his head. Plays on quickly to Ward. Ward goes towards half forward, and Lockie Ash has a runner outside in Taranto. He now moves it to the pocket, and Lockie keeps... In fact, Jesse Hogan's found a lot of space. Drifted away from his opponent, and he's marked in the left forward pocket for the Giants.
That is some absolutely poor marking up there by the Gold Coast defence. You can't let Jesse Hogan, your key forward, just be on his own up near the top of the square when the ball's moving like that. It's just not enough desperation to get back and support the defence.
I don't think Lockie Whitfield's known for his contested marking either, so he's done quite well.
Jesse Hogan, 20 metres out. Tied up on the boundary line, and that's the side he misses, the right-hand side.
It is
just a little bit shallow, so 2 goals for him today. That's a behind, the margin out to 27 points.
It is tricky, that distance, Ron, in that kind of unusual angle. Maybe not for you, mate, as a Norm Smith medalist, but players like myself struggle.
The Suns kick out. Big grab from Casbolt. As it came from Weller on the kick out, long beyond defensive 50. Casbolt and the big pack mark. Up the line now for Witts. Can they go coast to coast here, the Suns? Here's Ellis. Kicks up this commentary side. In from the side, Sexton. At the drop, Steen for the Giants, slaps it in space, wants to find Haynes. Underground hand pass for Kelly, curls it around the body now. Oh, it's bounced off the chest of Witts. Unkind bounce for him. Lockie Keefe spun around the tackle, finds Cornelio. The Giants can surge their way forward again. Cornelio to Hogan leading up. Had Graham coming the other way. In fact, it was Collins. Picked up by Himmelberg. Hand pass out wide for Hogan. Has to go and retrieve the ball now. Steps infield away to O'Halloran and his teammate. Halloran kicks into the back of Ellis. Ball in dispute. Rao gets there first for the Gold Coast Suns. Gets it back from Ballard. Now Sharp involved. Little 1-2 with Witts. They're away here through Sharp.
Sharp aims one for Lukosius. It bounces in front of him. Collects well on the right. Puts it inside 50. Nick Haynes can't collect, but it's tapped by Jake Steen to Nick Haynes. And now the Giants can rebound. It's at right half back with Matt DeBoer. Gold Coast challenging early in this third quarter. They've cut the margin back to 27 points and putting the Giants under a little bit of pressure. DeBoer plays on now, ducks around the man on the mark, sends it up to half forward. Bounces in front of a Giants opponent. In fact, he's taken that Taranto. He watched it superbly and like a slip fieldsman just took it just as it was about to hit the turf. Excellent mark on the wing from Tim Taranto. He's up to 19 disposals now when he kicks this. Puts it into attack. Himmelberg's in this pack, as is Hogan. It's off the hands of Sam Collins, though, and we'll have a boundary throw in just inside 50. In the shadows here at Giants Stadium, margin 27 points in favour of the home side, GWS.
I'm a big fan of Matty DeBoer. I just think every midfield needs a player like that. Hard, tag, role player. He's actually finding a fair bit of footy.
Last week's sub, one of the 5 conclusions to start Matt DeBoer this week. Wrapped up here is Anderson, had the arms pinned and a big tackle. The umpire says holding the ball. So great work it was from Tom Green. And the Giants will have the footy now from right on the paint of 50 at right half forward. It's one thing to win plenty of the footy, Tom Green, but it's his tackling, it's his defensive pressure. It's been superb.
Yeah, he's all-round midfielder, really. He provides the full package.
I think when he was playing in the reserves before he got drafted, there's a story he had a meat pie at half-time. A meat pie and a chocolate milk. Went out and had 30 possessions in the second half.
Whatever works for you. Tom Green had it 34 times against Richmond last week. Already has a goal this afternoon to go with 17 disposals. He rides this home from 50. It's right to the line. Slightly off target to the left-hand side for a minor score. The Giants 8-9-57. Gold Coast Suns 4-5-29. 10 go on third term. ABC Sport. This is Grandstand AFL.
And this is Lockie Weller bringing it in to Fiorini. Gets it back now, Weller. He's got a lot of dash out of defence for the Suns. He's at left half back. Goes to Rory Atkins. He moves it up just in front of the wing, but it's out of bounds on the full in front of Sexton. The Giants will bring it back into play.
You played with Plugger late in his career. Was he partial to the odd meat pie at half-time, do you know?
No, but I did play with a player, I won't name names, who'd have a 6-pack of Crownies before the game, like the night before the game as just a settler, so...
I think I know who it is too.
Can you name any names?
No, he played in the ruck, though.
Ryan O'Keefe and Callum Sinclair on ABC Grandstand this afternoon as Connor Iden moves it out of defence.
Surprised I don't know that, Ryan.
Finds a teammate in Sam Taylor. All of the Gold Coast Suns behind the ball. So Taylor goes up to half forward. Tom Green is there. Got both hands on it in the ruck contest. And now does some dirty work at ground level. It's with Matt DeBoer now. Josh Kelly puts his head over the footy. Couldn't get 2 hands on it. Matt Rao burrowing through for the Suns. He's wrapped up by a couple of Giants. And we'll have a ball up just outside 50 for GWS, who lead by 28 points.
The Giants are just taking the sting out of the game. They're just slowing their ball movement around, just sort of absorbing and trying to take any sort of momentum the Gold Coast are trying to build.
Ball in the air. Fiorini reaching for it. Can't get there. Green was in there first for the Giants, and that will be a free kick again going his way.
First to the footy.
He was taken high. 55 out. Dobbs it into the pocket now. Taranto's second bite reels it in.
Smart play on there, just while the defence is unorganised. Just a small little chip kick going inside 50, but he's a smart player, Green.
Almost stepped off his line there, Taranto. But his 100th game last week at the MCG. His dad came in from Texas to see it happen.
Texas.
One of the very important parts of this Giants midfield, Tim Taranto, goes with the check side from the pocket. Now he's missed, but I think the umpire is going to bring him back here.
I had one of the great footy trips in Texas. 6 days, Austin, Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, I think, well, because he's a midfield bull, I think they're calling him the Longhorn. It's one of his names around the club. But his dad lives in Texas,
Tax haven.
I think his dad's also from Texas, which probably, or he's at least American anyway. 35 out here on the angle. Gets a second go at it here, Taranto. He's pulled this near side and missed the lot.
I don't think you offer financial advice here, do we?
No financial or political advice, thank you. Giants 8-9-57, the Suns 4-5-29, 13 gone third term.
He messed up the first one and he went the exact same thing, thinks he's going to get a different result. It's probably one thing about Tim Taranto. He finds a lot of the ball, but his ball use is probably not quite at the level that some of those other midfielders are.
Noah Anderson plays on out of defence, took a couple of bounces but turned it over. Now Callan Ward moves it up to half forward and finds Harry Perryman for the Giants. So Gold Coast started the third quarter well. GWS have responded now. They lead by 28 points and send it deep into attack. Ballard does well to punch that clear. Ellis is there. Now Atkins. It's smothered well from Peatling, though. Deep in attack for GWS and playing just his fifth AFL game, yet to kick a goal. His teammates get around him and say that's the dirty work that we love. He's locked it in attack for the Giants.
Good to see a couple of local lads out there. Peatling and Jake Steen back in the side this week. Western Sydney locals. Back in it comes. Gets to the front. Bruin, though, first pair of hands to the Giants. Farms a hand pass a little too wide for Josh Kelly and will throw it back in again.
Witts is also a local lad. Went to Barker College.
Yep. Sydney Uni before going to the Pies. Now, of course, the Gold Coast Suns co-captain and very capable ruckman. One of the best in the comp on his day. Here he is competing with Lockie Keefe. Down towards Taranto. Turns through traffic. Wobbly ball inside forward 50. Picked off by Lemons. The intercept at left full back for the Suns.
He's had a crack today, Lemons. He's been good.
His team trails by 28 points, though. They've got to make some inroads in this third quarter. We've gone 14 minutes in it. He sends it out to half-back, and Lockie Keefe watches Jared Witts all the way and punches it over for a boundary throw-in. That will do for the Giants with the lead they hold at the moment. Lockie Keefe and Braden Pruce doing the ruck work for the Giants today. Pruce has been excellent. Now Keefe's in there with the Suns co-captain in Witts, who slaps it forward. Cumming, though, leads the Cocius to the football. Gets a handball over the top to Taranto. He's getting a lot of it in this third quarter. Puts the Giants into attack again. Bobby Hill with a big leap. Managed to affect the contest because Ballard had front position. Here is Peatling to Josh Kelly as Taranto running next to him. He tried to take on the tackler. Bounced off him. Handball over the top to Kelly. He's wrapped up by Powell but got it free. Toog Miller's there and he's tackled well by Bobby Hill, who locks it in and will have a boundary throw in next to the behind post for the Giants, who are doing some really good contested work inside their own forward 50.
Just been watching the last few stoppages. Matt De Boer is on Toog Miller like an absolute glove. He is not giving him an inch.
Another stoppage here for the Giants inside 50. Socked away here by Fiorini, and it just finds its way out of bounds for a throw-in right near the junction of 50 on the outer side.
You've been tagged a few times, Ryan. Like, how do you kind of go, if you took Miller, you're probably looking to your teammates to help you get into the game a little bit, a few blocks of stoppages, just things like that?
Yeah, you just got to keep on the move, though. If you're getting a wrestle and be flat-footed, you can't always rely on your teammates. Sometimes you just have to dig in and fight for yourself.
Giants by 28 here. It's inside their attacking half. Tom Green wrapped up by Jeremy Sharp. Took Miller, just bounds past and kicks through the middle of Giants Stadium now. Connor Ryden, first pair of hands to it for the Giants. Cumming goes the fend off here. Keeps it alive now. Just forward of halfway. They go inside. 450 through O'Halloran towards the 2-on-2. Giants with numbers in defence. At the drop, Took Miller. Wrapped up here again by Bobby Hill. The ball jars free. Lemons can clear again here for the Suns.
Up to the wing. Steen is there. It's off hands. Good contest by the Giants defenders. Callan Ward wins it free. De Boer with a quick handball to O'Halloran, and now they can go. O'Halloran's handball was over the top of Josh Kelly, though, when he was free in space. So we'll have a boundary throw in inside attack for GWS. Just quickly, Toog Miller, 14 disposals. He averaged 33 last season, had 38 last week. So they're doing an excellent job clamping down on him.
I tell you who's been good off half-back is Callum Ward. I think he's had a pretty solid game back there.
Back in it comes. Pruce again with Witts. Ellis kick partly smothered. It goes out of bounds for a throw-in, 55 around from the Giants' goal. Home side leads by 28 points here at Giants Stadium. Don't want to get too bogged down in the word pictures, but there is also a Sinclair stand on the outer side of the ground. Well, I was just sort of wondering, Cal, whether there was any kind of connection.
Potentially.
Wits wins it away here. Ellis, hand pass out wide for Fiorini. Off the half-back flank here, the Suns can get it away through Ellis. High ball up the broadcast wing. 3-on-2. Giants with numbers there. Haynes at the drop. Hand pass back away here for Cal Ward. Now a little wide for De Boer, and it goes out of bounds for a throw-in. The school level's been wanting a little in this second half so far, but the Giants lead by 28 points. 8-9 plays 4-5. 18 played third term.
Been very polite there, Spriggsy. It's been very below par.
Yeah. Try and diplomatic.
Lockie Ash has a breather, now goes straight back to Tuke Miller. He's doing the tagging job on him predominantly this afternoon. Ball in dispute on the wing. Taranto is wrapped up by Fiorini. We'll have a ball up just in front of the logo on the wing. The Giants lead by 28 points. We've gone 18 minutes in this third quarter here at Giants Stadium. They've led all afternoon, the home side. Fiorini can't collect it cleanly. Now Perryman does. Falling backwards, sends it up to half forward. Good contest from Lockie Keefe. Couldn't mark it, but palmed it down to his on-ballers. There's Lockie Ash. Fiorini with a handball over the top. Collins, and now Rowell, and the Suns can go. It's a scrappy kick, though, from Matt Rowell. Well collected, though, by a teammate in Sexton. Gets it back to Ellis. Ellis looks for a lead. Inside attack was Ben Ainsworth handled without it in that contest. He looks at the umpire and says, surely I deserve a free kick. His hands go to his head, but nothing doing.
I reckon Gold Coast could probably not worry about what the umpire's doing and probably just concentrate on trying to win the ball a little bit more. They have to do something different. They can't keep trying to do the same thing because it's not getting the result they want. They've got to try something different. They've got to light this game up somehow.
Bruce collects it cleanly out of the contest. His kick wasn't clear, though. Holman is wrapped up in attack for the Suns. Perryman manages to work it clear, but he doesn't have a teammate, so there'll be a foot chase to the ball in dispute on the wing. They move it forward to the Giants. Here's Sharp and Weller, and the Suns win it back. Weller's handball's over the top, though, and the Giants can make them pay.
Cornelio through traffic, has room to bounce, looks for the option. Second bounce, Cornelio. Miller closes him down. Cornelio's kick inside forward 50 was too deep for Hogan, and Sam Collins just thumps it out of here. Another throw in, 55 around from the Giants goal at the scoreboard end of the ground. GWS 8-9, 57 plays the Gold Coast Suns 4-5, 29. About to hit Tom on his lacklustre third term. What did I say last time? Below par. Did I use lacklustre?
Yep. Get another adjective out there.
I'll try to find a different one. Bruce, uncontested in the ruck. He can thump it clear. Himmelberg is beaten to it by Powell of the Gold Coast Suns. Hand pass off here, and they can rebound the football through Noah Anderson. He kicks up the line. The mark is taken by Casbolt. Long way from home at left half back.
Casbolt's been excellent this afternoon. His opponent, Sammy Taylor, left him for that contest and just drifted behind play and took a mark in the next one in front of Ben Ainsworth.
He's a great defender, Taylor. Very underrated, I think.
Taylor chips it to Haynes, who looked in big trouble earlier this afternoon with an ankle injury. He had it strapped. Now he's back on the park. He goes to Iden and now to Bobby Hill off the bench. He's marked it straight away. Short to O'Halloran. In fact, Lockie Ash at halfback for the Giants. He's directing traffic. Now he plays on. He's got a man on a lead in Hogan. He takes it in front of his head. Good kick, good mark from Hogan in front of the interchange gates. Chipping it short. Giants happy to control the footy. It's now with Taranto, who will have possession 24.
Just the one goal in this third quarter so far. It was the Gold Coast Suns. They're one straight to two behinds. The only scores so far in this third quarter of footy at Giants Stadium. Here is Lockie Whitfield. Broadcast swing up inside 50. In front, Bruce. At the drop, Cornelio. Hand pass out wide. Picked off by Collins. Shares it in close quarters to Chol. He had his kick smothered. Lemons goes in hard on hands and knees. Tries to win it away for the Gold Coast Suns. Still waiting for a clearance. Bruce hanging on for dear life. It comes to Bobby Hill. He can snap toward the goal square. Bounced off the chest of Weller. This is dangerous here as De Boer tackles him, the former Freo teammates. And it's a high tackle, so Lockie Weller will have it at full-back for the Gold Coast Suns.
He has been lively down back, Weller. He's tried to provide some run and drive. One of the very few players doing so in the Suns team.
His 17th touch, though, is a turnover because Jesse Hogan floats across the pack and marks it just outside attacking 50 for the Giants. Directing traffic with his hands. Now he puts it deep into attack. Himmelberg is there. There are four Suns around the contest. Picked up by Halloran. Handball to Peatling. Peatling goes back to Ash. Missed his target. Whitfield's there. He looks for Tom Green. Snaps it on goal now. Good purchase on it. Excellent kick, Tom Green. Tom Green has two. And that is a fantastic major, and the margin goes back out to 34 points in favour of the GWS Giants.
We've spoken about Green a fair bit today. That goal just shows his class and how good of a player he's going to be for at least the next 10 years. But Ryan, I wouldn't mind asking you, just guys like Callan Ward going back to the half-back flank. You spoke about it a little bit before. Sorry, I'm at the coffee. I spoke a little bit before about him going to the half-back flank, playing a new role. What I reckon that does is that it gives your midfield really good flexibility. So then if you are struggling, you can pull some experience, a big body out of that half-back line and throw him in. But it's also getting new players into the game. I think it's a really good tactic. Not only the Giants, but the Swans are using it with Josh Kennedy. I think Pendlebury's had some time off the half-back line. So it'll be an interesting little trend as the year goes on.
Yeah, and it's also having an old head down back just to be able to calm things down and be able to provide that real leadership.
34 points, the Giants lead. Back in the middle, Witts tackled, dispossessed. It drops here, though, for his teammate Fiorini. They win the clearance here, the Gold Coast Suns. Chol tangled up down there with Connor Iden. Socked away by Iden, straight to Touk Miller through traffic. Hand pass cut off. It comes back here to Dave Swallow, who kicks on the fly from 40, and it's missing to the left-hand side. So, really looked that time from David Swallow. Gold Coast Suns peppering away, but they trail by 33 points here late in the third term.
Lachie Whitfield tucks it under his arm and plays on now for the Giants. Sends it up to the wing. Himmelberg tries to look for front position. Braden Pruce has that. He worked it down to Himmelberg, who tried to squeeze it forward. Whitfield looking to get hands on it. He's on hands and knees. It's Tanner Bruin there as well, as is Noah Anderson. They pile on each other. We'll have a ball up on the wing as Pruce has a rest, and Lachie Keefe runs straight on and straight into this ruck contest with Jared Witts. Lachie Keefe palms it down and now wins it off his own contest. There's a free kick on the play, though. Will go the way of Tanner Bruin, who was manhandled as all that was going on.
You can see the way the Giants want to play. They just want to control the ball if they can, and if the ball's live, they just want to surge it forward and get it there as quick as they can. They're not mucking around. They've sort of tried to take the sting out of the quarter, take any sort of momentum or any sort of comeback Gold Coast are trying to rally towards.
Now a second-year player, Tanner Bruin, high and long up inside forward 50. Big spoil from the side from Graham, and it's out of bounds for a throw-in, 40 around from the Giants' goal.
We haven't seen this too much in the last season and a half. Touk Miller on the bench looking a little bit frustrated. 14 possessions to his name. All-Australian best and fairest season last time out. They've clamped down hard on the Giants today.
Giants by 33 points. Witts wins it down. Bounced off the shins of Ellis. They're going from all angles. Comes out here for Bobby Hill. Ash slams it on the boot. Kick was smothered unintentionally, I think it was, by Fiorini. Falls to Taranto of the Giants. Keefe in space. He can snap. It'll bounce into the pocket and picked up on the last line here by Ballard. Short kick to Powell, and the Gold Coast Suns can use the corridor.
Powell plays on quickly. Looks for Rory Atkins, but they did well to spot that, the GWS players, and zone across. Over the heads it goes, though. Well recovered from Atkins. Well blocked by De Boer, his handball. He moves it forward to Nick Haynes. He's got Lukosius with him. Lukosius keeps his feet. Haynes does well to put in a second effort. Here's Fiorini, squeezes it forward, well blocked by Taranto. He can put the Giants back into attack. At right half forward, the ball will bounce. Collins did well to work Himmelberg under it, and Mark contested. Now chips it across to Ballard.
Goal apiece in this third quarter of footy at Giants Stadium. Ellis marks here as the Gold Coast Suns switch toward the broadcast side. Jeremy Sharp, young East Fremantle lad, at right half back.
Been good today, Sharp. 16 possessions now.
Yeah, he's very well. Rising star nom last year, Jeremy Sharp. Up to a 2-on-2. Big sit from Cumming. Can't pull off the mark. Ball still going here. Rowell dumped in the steam tackle, and it's going to be a ball up on the logo commentary side. Rob from Gero's offered another adjective for us. Insipid, he suggests, is another one you could use to describe the standard of play this third quarter.
I was going to say deplorable, but
that's not too bad.
Witts wins it cleanly down to Fiorini, who sends the ball inside attack. It bounces end over end, just inside 50 at right half forward, and we'll have a boundary thrown in front of Ben Ainsworth and Sam Taylor.
Tell you what, though, the foot skills of the Giants is good to watch, isn't it? When they're on, they're running in waves. It's good footy to be viewing.
The Suns need one badly. They trail by 33 points late in the third quarter. The Giants on track to register their first win of the season. They came into this game under pressure, Lost a close one to Sydney in round one. Had their colours lowered badly against the Tigers last week. 4 points were imperative today. They're on track. But can Gold Coast just make them sweat a little? Here's Ben Ainsworth. Puts it to the top of the square. Chol tracks it. A chance for Alex Davies now to collect and have a shot on goal. Well done by Swallow. Sets it up for Lukosius. Handball over the top looking for Anderson. He went without it, and now the Giants can rebound out of 50 because it's worked out by Tom Green, who's been superb, to Bobby Hill at right half back.
Bobby Hill at right half back slows things down for a moment. It's high up the commentary side, the outer side of the ground. Himmelberg crashes in here against Collins, and now De Boer has taken, well, he's laid the tackle, but the umpire says we'll ball it up. Emma Simpkin, hope you're not too bored downstairs. It's been, at least pleasingly by way of injuries, quite boring for both of these sides. You're an experienced journalist. What's the word you would describe the standard of play in the second half?
I'm going with dour. That's my offering. Hasn't been a much for the crowd to really get behind, but the ball moving forward again there for
the Giants. Yeah, here is He's run out of time. Oh,
that was for his first goal too.
He weaved around the Gold Coast Suns defence, as Emma Simpkin mentioned. They were going forward, but James Peatling is beaten by the three-quarter time siren.
Probably the shortest quarter of the season too.
Yeah, there we go. So only what, I didn't see.
27 something, I think.
Okay, thanks, Emma. So back to you shortly. Three-quarter time here. The Giants are in control against the Gold Coast Suns, 9-9-63 to 4-6-30. So 33 points is their lead. Just the one goal apiece in that half, in that quarter of football. Goal scorers so far in the game, two each for Tom Green, Jesse Hogan and Harry Himmelberg. Greenwood is second in that third term. De Boer, Keefe and Bobby Hill all have singles for the Giants. Meanwhile, for the Gold Coast Suns, just the four majors today. 3 for Levi Casbolt and 1 for Alex Sexton. It is three-quarter time here at Giants Stadium. The Giants in control by 33 points against the Suns. This is Grandstand AFL.
To watch the latest stories from ABC News and clips from our current affairs shows online, it's time to go direct to the source. Australia's most reliable news can be found on ABC Radio, the ABC News app and the ABC News website. Download the free app now and stay across local breaking stories, updates and analysis from Australia's most trusted news. What matters to you matters to us, and it's all on the ABC News app and news.abc.net.au.
The 2022 AFL Premiership season.
Grandstand AFL.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
He'll snap this from just inside the boundary line, makes his way in now, and he kicks cleanly. So 3 goals to Levi Casbolt this afternoon. They needed that one badly, did the Gold Coast Suns. Handball to Peatling. Peatling goes back to Ash. Missed his target. Whitfield's there. He looks for Tom Green. Snaps it on goal now. Good purchase on it. Excellent kick, Tom Green. Tom Green has 2.
This is the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Highlights few and far between in the third quarter at Giants Stadium, where the home side GWS lead the Gold Coast Suns 9-9-63 to 4-6-30. It's a 33-point margin at the final change as Leon Cameron's men look for their first win of season 2022. After this, if you're listening through News Radio in Brisbane, you'll be heading off to the Brisbane Lions and North Melbourne at the Gabba. For everyone else, we're off to Collingwood v Geelong at the MCG. Matt Clinch, Andrew Mays, Nathan Burke and Chris Johnson, our commentary team. And Maisie can join us now for a preview. G'day.
Hello, Spriggy. Lovely overcast, sort of wintry feel to this MCG. It's like we've fast-forwarded a couple of months. It's about 15 degrees outside, a bit of a breeze. There's been drizzle, and it should be an interesting night under the lights. A very special night, though, for Joel Selwood. Lovely presentation has just taken place downstairs for the Geelong captain. This will be his 227th game as captain, and in doing so, he takes over from Stephen Kernahan, who held the AFL-VFL record for the most games as captain. His brother, who of course, or one of his brothers, who is of course part of the Collingwood coaching setup, was part of the presentation. His mum, his dad, his wife, and his 2 other brothers as well. So a lovely touching moment before this one. The good news for both teams is is there's no late changes. Maynard and McInnes come in for the Pies. McCreary and Kruger both out injured. De Koning and Higgins in for the Cats. Narkle and Guthrie are out. And Zach Guthrie, that is, who's been omitted. The subs, Luke Dalhouse and Tyler Brown for the Pies. So very much fast-forwarding a couple of months here, but the Pies will be looking to make it 3 on a trot to start their season. Geelong just looking to steady at 1-1. Looking forward to bringing you the action shortly here from the MCG. Spriggy?
Thank you, Maisie. Yeah, it's coming up next. Earlier, Adelaide and Melbourne won the AFLW prelims, so that will be the grand final next week. The Crows and the Demons at Adelaide Oval. Quickly around the grounds, Sheffield Shield final over in WACA ground. Final session, day 3. WA now 2 for 27, an overall lead of 107 on Victoria, who were dismissed in their first innings for 306. Bancroft out for a third ball duck, and Sean Marsh out for 13. Sam Whiteman there on 14, not out. And also in the West, or not in the West, but one of the teams there, the Perth Lynx have won Game 1 of the WNBL Women's National Basketball League Grand Final Series. So 98-71 over the Melbourne Boomers, and now Game 2 of that will be over in WA at the Bendat Basketball Centre on Wednesday night. Rugby League very quickly in Mudgee, where Manly Warringah leads Canberra 10-6 early in the second half. Earlier, the Warriors beat the Broncos 20 points to 6 at Redcliffe. Coming up after this, for those that aren't going to either Collingwood, Geelong or Brisbane, North Melbourne, local radio Gold Coast, you're off to the NRL, which will be the Cowboys and the Roosters. But there's still a quarter of footy to play here. Our experts are Callum Sinclair and Ryan O'Keefe.
I might kick it off. I think there's been some unusual words. We've had deplorable, insipid. What was the other word?
Rob from Gero said insipid. I said lacklustre, and something else which was probably nowhere near the mark. Alan from Geelong says desultory.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say room for growth. I'm going to have an optimistic mindset. But look, there is a chance. There is a chance here for the Suns, but I think if you've probably Stuart Dew at three-quarter time, Ryan, you're probably asking just for a bit of a response. Physicality, competitiveness, and just try and win the quarter of footy at the very least.
Oh, there's more chance of me going over there to show and having a Dagwood dog, mate, to be honest.
Look, where's that tree?
Look, they just got to throw. They just got to throw caution to the wind now. They just got to have a go. They can't be safe. They've got to play to win. They just got to get their hands on the ball. There's too many non-competing players out there for the Suns.
Giants by 33 points. Final term underway. Witt's beaten to it. Bruin hand pass off to Lockie Ash. He can tumble a kick up the line here for the Giants. They win the clearance. There is a free kick here going for a high tackle on Tim Taranto from centre half forward. 55 out. Pops it inside the arc, and Ash had kept running, and he marks 45 out directly in front. A couple of numbers, by the way, three-quarter time, Garby.
Tim Taranto, 28 disposals now. Canelio, 25. Tom Green, 22 and a couple of goals. 22 for Fiorini, leads the way for Gold Coast. Tick Miller, only 14, being tagged by Lockie Ash, who's now hurt him the other way and has marked this deep in attack.
38 games, Lockie Ash. Only 2 goals before this one. Runs very close to Matt Rowell on the mark, and he's dropped it just short, top of the square. Up they go. Hand pass out from Lukosius. Powell comes in as well. O'Halloran gets there first for the Giants. Miller was beaten to the football, although it was mopped up by a teammate there. Can Davies get there? Iden for the Giants does well. Miller's hand pass goes straight here to Callan Ward. He's dispossessed. Tom Green bursts through. Who else? Kicks it toward the top of the square again. Himmelberg goes in hard here against Charlie Ballard. Ball in dispute. Himmelberg back to Taranto, who snaps and goals. It's the ideal start this final term for the Giants, and they push their lead out to 39 points. 9-9, make that 10-9, 69. The Gold Coast Suns 4-6-30. A game-high lead of 39. Early stages, final quarter on ABC Sport. This is Grandstand AFL.
That was horrific by the Gold Coast defenders there. They had 5v2. 5v2 against the Giants there, and they lost it and got a goal kicked against them. It's a mindset. They've got enough talent in this team. It's got to be a mindset. They've got to have a real hard look at, wanting to win, wanting to compete. It doesn't take talent to compete.
Tim Taranto with his first of the game, fourth of the season. This has the potential to get ugly. Margin out to 39 points in favour of GWS. Witts wins it down, but Tanner Bruin does some nice work in the centre of the ground to win it back. And again, the Giants get the clearance through. Lockie Ash once more puts it to the top of the square. Himmelberg's there off the hands of Graham for the Suns, and he's ridden into the ground by Peatling, who hasn't had too much of the football, James Peatling, in just his fifth game, but he's doing that defensive role inside 50 very well.
You are right about Harry Himmelberg. He plays that tall. When it hits the deck, he keeps his feet, evasive, can play front and centre. Really good sized footballer.
Boundary throw in just next to the behind post, which just palms it down looking for Miller. Bruce gets it. It's gone the way of Tanner Bruin. That didn't go 15. Bruin's handball goes over the top of the Suns defender. Picked up now by Cornelio. Tries to break free and snap on goal as he managed to put it through. It just is through for a behind near side. Steve Cornelio with his 26th disposal and his third behind of the afternoon, margin out to 40 points.
He's back. For me,
Yeah.
he's back to his best.
Yeah.
A couple of lean years for Stephen Cornelio. Lockie Weller here. Finds some space in the right back pocket. Kicks out from goal for the Suns. He finds Fiorini.
Just seems like he's got more power in his legs.
Yeah.
Fiorini wheels around. Beyond defensive 50. Witts up in front of Bruce. Davies in the contest there. The Giants have numbers though. It comes from Taranto back to Ash. Shrugs away here. The Anderson tackle. Inside forward 50. Out at the drop here. Lemons did well in best position. Can rebound the football again. He finds the big ruckman and co-captain Witts at right half back for the Gold Coast.
Witts wants to play on quickly. They need to get some movement here. Gold Coast, who trail by 40 points, but doesn't have too many options. Casbolt's there. He just punches it away from Jake Steen and it's over for a boundary throw-in.
He's tried hard today, Casbolt. You know, might have dropped a couple of marks, but he's given him a real presence long down the line, up forward. I thought he's had a real crack.
He's one of very few players that have.
He's kicked 3 goals. His career best is 4. He's done that on 6 occasions, so that might be in his sights as the Suns win it off the ruck contest, but they can't get it clear. In fact, the Giants can make them pay now. Green, handball over the top to Taranto. Cornelio to Bobby Hill. Cornelio keeps running, looks to get on his right foot, inside 50. Taranto with a handball for Bobby Hill. He has time to settle himself. They're doing as they like here inside attack the Giants. Keefe to Himmelberg. This is like training. O'Halloran from a metre out puts it through, and they were up against training cones there. As easy as you like for GWS to make it 46 points to lead.
You can't describe it any better, Garbs. I was flabbergasted by what I saw there. That was unbelievable. They're just doing what they want. This is like they've come back to the home ground and they're running training. It's unbelievable.
There are about 7 handballs inside attacking 50 there.
But there's just numbers. This wave of Giants just kept running through and there was no Gold Coast opponent anywhere near them. Like that at least Stewie Jew's just got to go, boys, let's play one-on-one now. We got to go there. Let's just get it into a contest. Otherwise, this is going to be an absolute avalanche of a score.
46 points the margin. The Giants well and truly in control here. Restart back in the middle. Witts puts it down here. Rowell was tangled up there with Kelly. Miller in best position in a 2-man tackle. He's taken the ground. 0437 774 774. Adrian from Hampton East. Hi, Grandstand. I'm enjoying your broadcast. Not really the football. Looking forward to seeing the Blues. And then asked, is there a Ferris wheel in the night sky? Yeah, there actually is. 2 Ferris wheels here. It's the Easter show here at the Sydney Showground. Ellis kick goes high in the air. Thanks for asking, Adrian. Matter of fact, there is. Iden off right half back. Hand pass out wide for DeVore. Steps inside Ellis. He's run down by Holman from behind. Kick goes up the wing now. Ballard comes through here. Shrugs one tackle. Dumped on the follow-up though, and that will be holding the ball.
Been ruthless.
Great pressure it was from GWS on that occasion. Following up with the tackle, it was... superb work from, is it O'Halloran or, in fact, Cornelio? Who else playing the tackle?
I think to cheer Ryan up, we might have to send him on the Ferris wheel after this.
I'll tell you what, we were at the SCG last week for the Buddy Show Friday night. Nothing brings you back down to earth like the Giants and the Suns on a Saturday twilight here in round 3 all day. For Leon Cameron's team and their supporters, this is their first win of season 2022.
It's all right, Carl. I won 2 premierships this morning, mate, so I'm all right. I needed to bring back the enthusiasm and the adrenaline.
Steen on the outer wing goes up the line here for
Adam Kennedy, because Nick Haynes has been subbed out of the game now with that ankle injury.
Okay.
So Adam Kennedy puts it into attack for the Giants, and leading his man to the football is Braden Bruce, and he takes it on the second grab. His Giants debut, he's had an excellent outing, and now he's got a chance to kick his first for the club. He's marked it inside 50. He'll kick from 35 metres out in the slight angle.
I've been really impressed with his game. He's came, he's competed. Obviously, there's a spot up for him. He wants to grab it with both hands. So he's had a really good game and really good showing in his new Giants colours.
The former Melbourne ruckman, Braden Bruce, spent time at a couple of clubs. Matt Flynn had the nod over him to start the season. He's got it back now. He's looking for his first goal as a Giant, but he's just pulled this one to the near side. Through for a behind, 47 points the margin now. 11-11-77. GWS, Gold Coast 4-6-30.
Emma Simkin, what are you seeing down there for Nick Haynes?
Yeah, he's left the field and gone up back to the room, so we won't, as we know, he's out, so I can't really say as they're moving that ball forward there, the Suns, but yeah, he went up to the rooms, obviously still troubled by that ankle injury.
He won't come off in the second quarter. He resumed the game, but we assume it would be the ankle that would keep him out of the game, and that's why Adam Kennedy has been subbed in. So there we have the ice. In fact, we're seeing on the monitor now the ice on the left ankle of Nick Haynes, the All-Australian defender. 450 stoppage here for the Gold Coast Suns. Back in it comes Witts, off to Swallow, and now a big tackle in the back pocket. Whitfield did well. Tumble to kick up the line here for the Giants on this occasion. Ward, I think it was, and now it's gone out of bounds for a throw-in, 60 around from goal. So Giants are in control of things here. 47 points the home side's lead. Thrown back in at left half forward for the Gold Coast Suns. Swallow met Kelly front on. Now Atkins kicks smothered. Rowell tries to reach for it. Miller goes bursting through as well. Coughed up the footy. Rowell tackled in turn by Bruce and Taranto, and the umpire will ball it up again.
Coached a couple of flags. Junior footy there, mate. What are your biggest coach killers, Ryan? U-turns?
U-turn? No. Just the simple things, like just not taking it out and just doing errors that are basic. But the thing that Gold Coast is coach killing is effort.
Holman down to Miller. Miller has a flying shot on goal, through for a behind, margin back to 46 points. Carry on, Ryan O'Keefe.
Yeah, it's just effort. And as I said before, it doesn't take talent to bring effort and compete. And that's just what I see from the Gold Coast. They've got a heap of talented players out there, but just the effort and the want and the will to win's not there.
Whitfield thumps it long from the kick out. Steen beaten through the air. A free kick here for chopping the arms. It will be going the way of Jake Steen at centre half back for GWS. Flares it out wide for Perryman. On the angle further still here for Ash. They're using it by foot quite well here. Bruce gets back in space. There's the big loud call of Bruce for the Giants faithful here at Giants Stadium.
He's a cult figure already after one game.
40 out from goal. That's where Himmelberg gets set and takes a big pack grab. 35 out directly in front here. It's been all the Giants in this final term. He's going to add to their 46-point lead.
Yeah, he's really had a good start to the year, Himmelberg.
Well, like his contested marking has gotten even better, particularly the start of this year. That must have been something he's worked on, but as we said before, with Jeremy Cameron out the last 12 months, he's getting a lot more opportunity and he's flourishing.
Jeremy Finlayson, of course, of Port Adelaide as well, another one of those key forwards who'd supported Jeremy Cameron in recent years. Himmelberg kicked 2 goals last week. He has 2 this afternoon. He's just sneaked it through for 3. The Giants out by 52 points, 12-11-83 to 4-7-31. 12 gone final term ABC Grandstand AFL.
Well, hopefully the Giants now build off this game and Leon and his coaching staff can go, hey guys, look, that's the blueprint of our game. We started the game with intent and intensity and pressure. Our game has to be built off that contested pressure game. We don't worry about all the fancy stuff and trying to be cute and everything like that. That comes off our hard work and our contested ball.
And yes, they have had the game on their terms, but I still would say that their pressure, their tackling, their physicality has been very good. Just looking at the Easter show behind the goals, looks like a footy trip in Phuket.
There's the teacups and there's a few little kiddie sort of roller coasters.
It's been a bit of a holiday for the Giants on ballers. They've smashed the Suns in that department. Look at the smooth movers for the Suns. Matt Rao only 15 possessions. Anderson only 13. Tuke Miller only 16. As they move it forward, the Suns here. Chol off his hands. Down there is Sexton. He's wrapped up in a tackle. And again, the Giants win it free in defence. Perryman to Bruin, and here's Callan Ward. Enjoying himself in game 251. Moves it just outside of halfback, and Tom Green, who's been one of the best for the Giants today, will have possession 27. Good contested mark there in front of Nick Holman.
He's a star, this kid. Absolute star.
2 goals as well, Tom Green. Brilliant start to the season for him. Up to the wing it goes. Front position is Charlie Ballard. He marks that in front of Lockie Keefe. 52 points the margin. This one is blown out big time. Ballard goes to Weller, who's been one of the few shining lights for Gold Coast. Move it to the outer wing now. Here's Graham, went through his hands. Hogan's there with him. Graham just pushes him over the football and recovers. Handball inside to Brandon Ellis. Puts it into attack for Gold Coast. Chol is there. Off his hands. Ainsworth gets it free, looking for Holman. Green with a tackle on him, and he'll wrap him up inside 50 for Gold Coast, and we'll have a ball up about 35 metres out from the Suns' goal.
That sort of ball movement's not going to win the game for them tonight. You can't go this switch back, slow. They've got to go fast, and they've got to go straight up the middle.
Now, Kennedy is wrapped up here by Ainsworth, and we'll ball up again, 40 out from goal. The Gold Coast Suns attacking towards the scoreboard end. And it's going to be a free kick for a hold, going maybe Chol's way. So Keith giving away the free kick, and Chol will be 35 out directly in front. Steve says, watch the Gold Coast come back in the last 10 minutes. Well, I think you're being ambitious there, Steve. 52 points is the margin as it currently stands. B in Mount Gambier asks, at what score is the margin considered to be ugly? What would your coach say is an ugly score? Anything probably 8-9 goals plus.
Oh, yeah, I think so. But it's more, it's not about the score. Oh, it is a bit about the score, but how you go about it, how you play. And the way they've played is ugly.
Someone's taking exception to us talking about Texas for 5 seconds rather than calling the play. Mate, you're welcome to find a call elsewhere as Chol comes in on the approach and goes straight over the goal umpire's hat. He does close the margin ever so slightly. 46 points is the Giants' lead. And GWS at 12-11-83. The Gold Coast Suns with their 5th of the afternoon/evening, 5-7-37, 15 goal and final term.
See, they should be trying things now. Like, let's go through the middle of the ground. Let's take some risks. Like, if they lose by another 3 or 4 goals on top of this, it's not really going to make a difference. Try some stuff. Try and get some players into a bit of confidence and form, and look to next week and say, look, when we do move the ball through the centre and we actually try and take their game on, we can. And when we do play on our opponent and we do provide a contest, we are good enough. So start looking towards next week and building some confidence towards that.
Margin back to 46 points, but the Giants having it on their terms here at Giants Stadium. 15 minutes gone in the final quarter, on track to notching up their first win of the season. Chol and Fiorini win it out of the middle. They paddle it forward, but now Anderson left it behind, so Cornelio can pounce on his left. He goes just inside 50 and finds Peatling, who's gone close a couple of times to kicking his first AFL goal. He just pops this one up to the top of the square. Himmelberg crashed the contest and ended the second effort with a tackle. Alex Davies clears it for the Suns. Up to the wing, off the hands of Isaac Cumming. Taylor's there. Well done by Lukosius to soccer it forward. It's Steen and Ainsworth. Ainsworth taps it to himself. Steen watches it closely. And it'll be a boundary throw in just outside attacking 50 right half forward for Gold Coast.
It's a fair mullet from Steen. I'd like to see you in that, Spriggy. Ooh, real nice little mullet at the back.
46 points, the Giants lead. Back in it comes. Bruce in front of Chol. Hand pass off to Tom Green. He's been so good early this season, and certainly tonight's been no exception. Ellis has cut that up like a seal. Spilled the mark on the outer wing. Back to Sharp, back to Ellis, running around. Wobbly kick up inside 50. Bruce was beaten to it by Chol. Couldn't complete the mark, and in the end it's run over the boundary line by Holman and Cumming. So 55 around from the Gold Coast Suns goal. Scoreboard end. They trail by 46 points. They've it thrown back in, 17 gone final term.
Their hands have been actually quite poor today. They've dropped a lot of marks today, Gold Coast.
Bruce, who's been fantastic in his Giants debut, palms that down beautifully to Bruin and then to Peatling on the run, kicks it over the head of a few into attack for the Giants. Doing well back there is Graham, chips it across to Lemons. Just inside defensive 50 for Gold Coast. Trailed by 46 points. They beat the Eagles in round one, lost to the reigning premiers last week and have been battered today at Giants Stadium as Iden and Sexton see that one sail over their heads, and we'll have a throw in just behind the wing.
In their forward line, the Giants has been quite dynamic, probably forgetting one guy still due to come back. Toby Green can play football, that guy, so be interesting to see who unfortunately has to depart.
Still a few weeks away.
A few weeks on.
Yeah.
What's he, another 3 weeks soon?
Back in
round 6.
Yes, we missed the first 5 rounds, so back in round 6.
Well, their forward line, it looks like they've got the balance how they want. They've got 2 bigs in a Hogan and a Key for a resting ruck, and then you've got Himmelberger's that hybrid. Then the other 3 are got agile, fast ground level players.
Giants by 46. Cornelio goes back to Kennedy, the sub, on for Nick Haynes, who's off with an ankle injury, which we saw him suffer first in the second quarter. They switch here. Steen or the other side. Isaac coming. It's it back to Jake Steen. From left half back. Coming back commentary side now. Kennedy marks at centre half back. The inaugural Giants, Adam Kennedy. Another one here. Cornelio up the line for Matthew De Boer, who marks members side here at Giants Stadium. Just a slow, considered approach here for the Giants, who are in control of things here to the tune of 46 points.
De Boer gets a message from Lockie Whitfield to send it into attack. He balks around a would-be tackler and now does just that. Bruce has front position off his hands. Tuke Miller is there. He's watched closely by 3 Giants, though, as he has been all afternoon. Like moth to a flame, they get close to Tuke Miller and will have a ball up inside 50 for the Giants. Bruin wins it cleanly. It's the kick clear. O'Halloran and Sharp handball to Noah Anderson, and he can get out of defence with a bounce.
Well, they come through the corridor. Lukosius on the half volley. They start to stream forward here for the Gold Coast Suns. Lukosius up to Ainsworth, who marks 55 out in the right forward pocket. Called to play on now. Goes deep towards full forward there in the contest. Iden with Casbolt. Good spoil from Iden from behind. Holman keeps it alive in the pocket. Tries to open up the angle. He's spilled the footy here as he dropped it onto his boot. And now they pile in the pocket. The umpire will ball it up. 30 out from the Gold Coast Suns goal. Boundary line's only a few metres away there. Another 450 stoppage here for the Gold Coast Suns, but they're a long way behind here. 46 points is the Giants' lead here on Grandstand AFL. The umpire wastes no time. Bruce got rid of Chol. The umpire was all over that straight away.
Yeah, that's not there. I tell you who's become a really important player for the Giants is Iden. He's actually been able to play on the big guys when he's undersized and does really well. Then he's also got that speed to play on the smaller, faster guys. So he's become a real important cog in their defensive outfit.
Bit of a hybrid, playing talls and smalls, good at ground level, can take a grab if required.
The London-born, Geelong-raised Connor Iden. And here's Mabior Chol. Speaking of a backstory that is back overseas, of course, Mabior Chol, the former Richmond Tiger, is back in Queensland here at the Gold Coast Suns on that left boot from the pocket. And that's his second goal of this final term. Again, to close the gap. His teammates get around him, but it's all in consolation here for the Gold Coast Suns. The Giants lead by 40 points. 12-11 played 6-7. We've just hit time on final quarter on Grandstand AFL.
It's probably a bit unlucky, Parisi, there. But, you know, is what it is. RBO Chol gets his second for the quarter.
Braden Bruce, 14 disposals on debut. Couple of behinds. Tough for Matt Flynn to win back the number 1 ruck spot after Bruce's performance today. Cal Sinclair?
Yeah, well, I thought Matt has actually been quite serviceable, to be honest, but I've played on both of them, both very, very tough opponents. Had Brucey a few weeks ago while he was out with suspension. Big lad, very, very big lad. So I know what the ruck competition's like. It can be a very hostile at times at training, so I'm sure those two are battling it out.
Well, at the Swans, you know, Tommy Hickey might be out here, and Cal Sinclair, Pete Adams, you never know at the Swans.
Lockie Ash wins it inside the centre square and sends it to half forward, and Tanner Bruin's enjoying himself in this last term, getting his hands on the footy, up to 17 disposals now. He's marked us just outside 50 left half forward for the Giants, and he doesn't mind the distance. He's lining it up at the moment.
I love these type of games. Run around, get your cheap kicks.
Well, they put him inside and give him the inside minutes, which has been good.
He just pops it up. There's a whistle on the play. There'll be a free kick directly in front for GWS.
No, it's reverse. So it goes back to where the kick was.
Been reversed. It looked like the umpire was pointing the way of the Giants for a free kick to them, but in fact, the Gold Coast Suns will take it away from halfback.
Giants by 40 points. Hand pass comes wide to Weller. Up the line for Jeremy Sharp. Been busy this afternoon. The young West Aussie. High ball inside forward 50. A little too deep for Steen in defence, who went to spoil that time on Davies. And now both players will see it out of bounds for a throw-in. 45 around from the Gold Coast Suns goal. GWS lead by 40 points. 23 gone, final quarter. We'll get some reaction from downstairs with Emma Simpkin. We'll also take you across to a couple of different directions tonight. Collingwood Geelong coming up at the MCG as Joel Selwood breaks the AFL record for games captain. And now the kick is intercepted by Dave Swallow as the Giants went to clear. Swallow marks on the outer wing for the Gold Coast.
And he puts the Suns into attack. There's a big leap there at the back. And a couple of big men from Gold Coast, Levi Casbolt and Witts, off hands for a boundary throw. And Levi Casbolt, one of the few shining lights for Gold Coast, 3 goals to his name. In a good duel with Sammy Taylor, and he's probably just won out as the game's gone on.
Talking about mullets, he's breaking Steve Kernahan's record too.
Yeah. Witts palms it down.
Could we have a little wager, Ryan, just on maybe you growing the mullet out?
No,
do something for charity or something like that.
So just on that, Collingwood Geelong coming up for most of us. Brisbane and North Melbourne at the Gabba for those listening on Queensland News Radio.
Witts won the ruck contest, but he infringed on Bruce. So a free kick to the big Giants. Big man on debut, just inside defensive 50. Left half back for GWS, who lead by 40 points. 12-11-83 to the Suns, 6-7-43. Their first win of the season coming up. Just over 5 minutes to go in this last quarter.
I wanted the wraparound handball that time on Bruce. He didn't get it, so Bruce will just thump it long toward the outer side. And the ground bathed in floodlights now. We've started in the afternoon sunshine. Under lights here as the Suns get it back, and it's cleared away through Fiorini. Ainsworth on the bounce, traps it in the pocket. Centering ball, Casbolt was at 15. No, play on, says the umpire. Casbolt spins away from trouble, just evades Taylor. Back here for the Gold Coast Suns. They go inside forward 50 from Rowland. Holman brings it to ground. Great effort as Holman controls it. 25 out, make it 30, slightly right of centre. Another opportunity here for the Gold Coast Suns. It's been too little too late in this final term at Giants Stadium.
Some sticky fingers there. He held that really well with some immense pressure by the Giants.
Heard he's quite the character, Holman, at the footy club. Very popular young man.
Ex-Carlton Blue, then went back to the SANFL for a couple of years. Here he is for the Gold Coast Suns on the approach, and he makes no mistake either. So, well, as Steve on the text predicted, they are coming back, but it is still just too little too late, as I said. Gold Coast now 7-7-49, trailing GWS who are 12-11-83. The margin is 34. It was at one stage 52. So 3 straight for the Gold Coast Suns here, deep into time on final term.
Yeah, the Giants are just going through the motions here, just doing enough to control the game and not really putting too much of that intensity. The game was already won in that first half when it really, really mattered. So this is just a bit of cream that the Suns are applying to the scoreboard to massage it to a much more healthier and pleasable thing to the eye.
Right, how's that going, Fred? Pleasable thing to the eye. Yeah. Saurus evaded you, Ryan. Okay.
Junk time, what we're talking about.
Yeah. I did want to call it junk time. I tried to use
Matt Rowe's battled hard, only 16 disposals, but 12 tackles for the former number 1 draft pick. So he's trying his heart out. Fiorini's trying to do that. And that man I speak of, Matt Rowe, gets it now, breaks away from a couple of tackles. Turk Miller is caught in one, though. Got the handball free to Swallow. To half forward, the Suns go. Good mark from Holman. Leaping forward, the man who kicked the last goal now looks for a target in Chol inside 50. Oh, how did he drop that? It was straight to him. Does well to recover, though. Gets it to Ainsworth. Has a teammate free in Sexton, who snaps on goal. He'll miss everything. In fact, we'll go through forward behind just. But Marbio Chol had to mark that. He's kicked 2 in this final term. That would have been just about a soda for a third.
But the passage of play looked good. You know, they came out to the centre bounce. Looked exciting. Had a bit of intensity.
Starting to take the game on a bit. But as I mentioned before, too many drop marks by the Gold Coast Suns today. It's just these basic fundamentals, they just haven't got quite right.
Giants by 33. Voices of Ryan O'Keefe and Callum Sinclair on Grandstand AFL right across Australia and beyond. As the footy continues in various parts of the nation. Here's Josh Kelly. Has it on the last line for the Giants. He just stops for a moment on that preferred left boot. Thumps it beyond defensive 50. Bruce beat through the Eagles. Ball from behind Casbolt. The Giants, though, and O'Halloran tries to trap it with his foot as it was out of bounds. He was out of bounds. So when the ball got to him, the ball's out of bounds as well.
Good umpiring.
So, yeah, it was all over it, the boundary umpire. So we'll throw it back in at left half forward for the Gold Coast Suns. It's the Giants who lead by 33 points here.
As we said at the start of the game, a few home truths spoken in GWS team meetings during the week. They responded well. They lead by 33 points, but the Suns have pegged the margin back in the last, and they go inside attack again over the head of Chol and Taylor. Connor Iden leads Ainsworth to the ball. In the goal square now for the Suns, Iden just puts it on the ball, boot on ball, and hoofs it clear, but only as far as Ellis, just outside 50. He finds a teammate in a slightly better position in Noah Anderson, who's marked it now. He'll kick from about 55.
I'd love to see the Anthony Rocker torpedo right now.
He's gone the Michael Holding run up Noah Anderson. He's pulling the socks up, so...
Has he got it in the kit bag, this kick?
He's going to give it a crack, the number 2 draft pick. Lining up for the drop punt. There's a number of players gathered in the square. Now he gets into a counter, does Anderson. And he gives us a good roost, but he has pulled it while looking for extra distance. Through for a behind, 32 points the margin. Time ticking down in this last term at Giants Stadium.
Coming to kick out here for the Giants. Options spread. Looks left, comes back to the right. Plays on with a bounce out of the goal square. And now just drives it long beyond defensive 50. Bruce in the back of him was Casbolt. Slapped down here for Kelly. Dumped here in the Powell tackle, and the umpire will ball it up.
He's been pretty quiet today, Kelly. He's not as damaging or influencing as he usually has been.
76% disposal efficiency at 22 touches, I think, for him. 21 make it. As the hand pass comes from Bruce to Cornelio. Bounced back to Bruce, as Cornelio wasn't expecting it, and the players again dive in from all angles, and the umpire will ball it up commentary side.
You can only share the footy so much, Ryan.
Yeah.
So, Cornelio, Whitfield, Green, all finding plenty of it.
And that's a good thing. That's what I mean. Like for a player, like it's not he's had a bad game, just that they haven't had to rely on him to have the dominant game. The other players have taken up some of the load.
Free kick against Braden Bruce. I'm pretty sure that was for abuse. Went the way of Levi Casbolt. You can't talk back to the umpire anymore. Here's Matt Rao. Was he tripped on the play, or was it Chol? It'll be another free kick to Gold Coast. It'll go the way of Mario Chol. Chol with a couple of goals to his name. Credit Gold Coast. One stage the margin was out to 52 points. They've pegged it back to 32 in this last term.
He thinks he might have the distance as well.
He'll kick from probably about 57 metres. Big Marbio. He's kicked 2 today. He's tried hard. He's gone better as the game has gone on. He's got a big left boot on him. Strikes this pretty sweetly.
Pretty good.
And it's through for his 3rd. Nice goal to Marbio. 3 to his name. 26 points the margin now. So they've made it credible of Gold Coast.
Nonchalant there. Just went bang. Straight back over the top of the goal.
Hardly kicked it.
Yeah.
Like a little 9-iron. I think he'll be exciting, Marbio Chol. You know, really athletic. Probably hasn't played a lot of senior footy. Hopefully with his opportunity at the Gold Coast Suns, he can nail a consistent spot on the side and, you know, be that real forward ruck role, which is seems to be open for him.
Crowd of just over 4,000 have come in this afternoon. So they've been loud at times and certainly behind their team here, the Giants, but that is it's a disappointing turnout compared to the highs of last Friday evening at the SCG, as I said. It's,
well, at least we'll get out of the car park quick tonight then.
Yeah, no, it's 5Ks away because of the Easter show continuing, or at least starting up. Matt Rowell tries to paddle it away here for the Suns. Will come back for a free kick, Giants. It was incorrect disposal. So Tanner Bruin will have it.
He's been good this last quarter. They've put him in the inside to give him some good inside minutes, and he's been really good player.
Wide to Cumming, and Cumming has it at left half back. He will retreat inside defensive 50 for Sam Taylor.
Taylor goes across to Adam Kennedy, the sub, who's on the ground for Nick Haynes. That's the only downside for GWS from a dominant afternoon is the injury to their All-Australian defender and best and fairest winner in Nick Haynes. Tried to run it out, eventually succumbed. So wait to see how he fares during the week and whether he can play on next week. Giants just happy to chip it around in defence. Iden to Taylor. He's caught in the contest here by Ainsworth. Taylor recovers well, gets the handball free to Josh Kelly. Kelly's kick is smothered though by Sharp. Sharp snaps it towards goal. Iden's back there. He's able to recover and get the handball across.
The Giants out of defence here. Iden can rebound the football, comes up the corridor, and Hogan takes the mark. And the Giants are off the mark in season 2022 after a winless opening fortnight. There's the win, while the Gold Coast Suns drop out of the top 8.
Well, there's a big, big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. Feel the ground is shaking. The other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. We take the longest strides and the highest leap. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best, and we will never surrender. We'll fight until the end. We're greater than the rest.
For the winners, Himmelberg kicked 3, Hogan and Green each with 2. Singles for Keith, O'Halloran, Taranto, Bobby Hill and Matt DeBoer. While for the Gold Coast Suns, Chol kicked 3 goals, all of them in that last quarter. Casbolt kicked 3 across the afternoon, and singles for Sexton and Holman. The Giants winners by 26 points, Tollett 83 to 8-9-57 here at Giants Stadium.
Well, there's a big, big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. Feel the ground is shaking. The other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. We take the longest strides and the highest leap. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best, and we will never surrender. We'll fight until the end. We're greater than the rest.
They led all day, the Giants, by 24 points at quarter time, by 32 at the half, by 33 at the final change, and at one stage by 52 in that last quarter. The Gold Coast Suns did peg things back to make the margin a little more respectable, but 26 points is the final margin in the end. Heading in different directions shortly, most of us off to Collingwood Geelong at the MCG. Let's get the thoughts of our experts here at Giants Stadium, Ryan O'Keefe and Callum Sinclair.
Oh, the Giants started the game with intent and in pressure and intensity, and that just set the tone for the whole game. They were strong over the ball and they just won the ball, and then when they did, they just had options everywhere and they were able to do what they want. And you know, they had their midfield just absolutely dominated. Their pressure forwards showed, Petling, even though he almost missed his first goal, his pressure and speed looked really, really lively, and their backs just looked solid. So look, from the Gold Coast, as I said, I just don't see where they're at. They've got talent, but they've just got no fight, no grit, no... Yeah, well, they got a lot of work to do.
I certainly wouldn't want to be in the on the Gold Coast media on Monday during that review. But look, from a positive from the Giants' perspective, I thought they were well balanced all over the ground. I thought the defence set up quite well in the absence of Phil Davis. The midfield was the spread of possession getters in the midfield. Green, we spoke about him. Kingilia. Matt DeBoer's one for me. I thought he played his role beautifully and took Miller, sold some candy, hit the scoreboard. He was great. And then Harry Himmelberg, super up forward, really dynamic, had some great goal kickers down there. Lockie Keith played an interesting role tonight, playing that second ruck role. Usually he's playing key defender, so a bit of flexibility from the Giants, which is interesting to see. Cal Ward, another one who's playing down back. So hopefully this is the momentum and the start they need to bank some more wins.
And you talk about the balance. I think Keith played, as I said, their forward line, they've gone the two bigs with a Hogan and a Keith. Himmelberg gets to play his more suitable role, that hybrid sort of player, than some speed around
Takes
there.
pressure off, yeah.
Yeah. And then Gold Coast, probably Levi Casbolt was a shining light. He showed pressure, showed some good intent, contest, kicked 3 goals. So at least they got something there, and Chol chimed in. He got him late, and look, the scoreboard absolutely flattered it, to be honest. I think the Giants put the cue in the rack, and the Gold Coast were able to capitalise. As I said, they've got some talent and some skills. They can score, but they've got a lot of work to do. Look, if you look at these two clubs, they came into the AFL at the same time.
Similar time. 1 year apart.
Similar time, but look, they're poles apart. Like, it's unbelievable. Both of them had similar, concessions and get picked. And if you look at the list of what Gold Coast and the players have had over the time, no short of talent. So what is there? What is this thing that's just not making this club click?
Well, I'm just looking at the stats now. Tim Taranto, another one, 35 touches, really had it on a string. But no, you are right. They are, you would argue that Gold Coast are a little bit behind the Giants at the moment, and particularly today they were as well. But probably some decisions at the selection table potentially, but who knows? But it was all Giants tonight, and I thought they were super.
We'll carry on to get some reaction from the rooms with Emma Simpkin downstairs shortly, but we'll drop off most of our audience heading off to the MCG for Collingwood and Geelong very, very soon. By the way, Sheffield Shield final over in WA, final session day 3, WA 2 for 49, overall lead of 129. In the second dig against Victoria, who were earlier all out for 306. Cameron Bancroft, a third ball duck. Not exactly matching his first innings century, but Sam Whiteman's there on 26 and Hilton Cartwright on 6. So that will be interesting. The WA and Victorian audience as far as how that Sheffield Shield final is concerned, but heading off to the footy at the MCG very soon, and the rest of us off to regular programs or the Brisbane North Melbourne game at the Gabba. Ryan O'Keefe, you've got the votes in the ABC Player of the Year.
Yeah, and we've spoken about it. It started in the middle for the Giants, and the 3 votes are going to midfielders. Tim Taranto, I'm going to give the 1 vote. Look, he accumulates a lot of the ball, but probably one thing, as I said during the call, it separates, doesn't quite get him to the others. It's just a bit of the ball use, but he was fantastic. Steve Cornelio, 2 votes. He looks back to his best, back to the old Steve and what we know, and 3 votes for Tom Green. Dominated, kicked a couple of goals as well. Absolute star.
So 3 for Green, 2 for Cornelio, and 1 to Tim Taranto. The Giants have made their way down the race. They were throwing and pelting footies into the stands as well. If you're lucky, you might have 2 to take home because there's only 4,000 fans here tonight. We don't know if we'll get the song before we head off here for our audience heading to the MCG, but we will get some post-match reaction for those staying with us on News Radio as well. So repeating here, the final score was GWS 12-11-83 to the Gold Coast Suns 8-9-57. Leon Cameron's men have their first win of season 2022. Both of these sides now 1 win and 2 losses to start the relatively